See, we have some viewers rolling in already. Welcome back. I'll be uploading all this to YouTube. I put last night's stream up on YouTube already. If you go to our YouTube channel, Something Classic, you could find it there. Let me know how the balance is. I put the music a lot lower this time. When Tim starts talking, his hopefully will be balanced with me. Did a few test runs and it seemed to all work out all right. So, 1 second. Alright, thanks Dorothy. How was your playthrough today? Sorry I missed it. I was at work when when I saw you playing. Seems you got through the water garden, if I saw correctly. I just briefly got on for about 2 minutes. Nice. What'd you think of the puzzle? It's kind of tricky, huh? Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that when I get to the water garden, which I'll definitely be able to get to tonight just because I'm so close to it. I'll talk a little bit about kind of our puzzle philosophy. But almost everything has a much more simple and elegant solution than you might think. Something to kind of keep in your mind as you go to the next parts of the game. Alright. So, hoping Tim will chime in when he gets back. I'm gonna go ahead and get started so I can have some good time. Okay. Back, Tim?
Hey, I'm here now.
Oh, nice. Perfect. So everyone in the chat, just let us know if the volume is good. It's on my end, it sounds great. So this is Tim on the line with me. Tim was our art director, battle designer, a lot of things. We all sort of wore a lot of hats when we made this game. Okay, so Tim will just chime in and we'll just talk about whatever we think. Did you make this map or did Luke?
Luke did.
Okay, you did Adam and Jordora though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, those are the only ones.
And the Mystic Cave,
And
of
the
course.
Wind Tower and Mystic Cave.
All right, you did a significant amount of maps, then.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So like one of the highlights of this town, in my opinion, is that these pirates have really funny dialogue. Captain Blackrod is like obsessed with cleanliness for some reason, and I think this is like, is this a family cameo for you?
What one?
Sam? I don't know if you're watching the stream right
That's
now.
my old girlfriend.
Oh, nice.
And her dog.
Ruthie.
Dog passed away too.
Oh,
Just like when was that? I think in November.
that sucks.
Yeah, I know. So two people passed away over the course of this game. Just shows how long we were in development for.
Yeah, realize in October it will have been 5 years since we started.
That's nuts.
I was thinking, like, what was I doing 5 years ago? I just got married. I was 25, 24, or 26.
Wow.
I was pretty young.
Five anniversaries then.
Yeah. Alright, so that's a little secret for anyone watching. This little back entrance, you get this greedy gauntlet, which I'll equip later. It's gonna basically give me an extra 50% on all my gold drops, which is really useful. Go ahead and just complete the quest. Basically at this point, Talon and Keller kind of want a contest to see who can figure out where to go next. And there's a lady who talks about cabbage for some reason.
Yeah, did you talk to her?
I'll go talk to her in a second.
Yeah, I completely missed that gritty gauntlet in my playthrough.
Yeah,
There's a number of secrets that I learned about through other people's streaming.
Yeah.
Funny.
I think because Luke would just make the maps and he would just add a treasure chest, but it would be empty.
Right.
So I had to go fill it so I knew where they all were. Otherwise, I might never find that. There is one that I always forget about, and I'll have to remember to get it when we go to the passageway. It's like a very easy to miss artifact.
Yeah,
The
I
region.
definitely missed that one.
The region ring.
Yep.
This lady right here likes cabbage.
Oh. One second.
Well, if you guys type !contact, it will display our Discord link and our Twitter. Really active on Twitter. We're kind of in the midst of a Twitter campaign right now while our game is on sale, and we're trying to grow our Discord. Something I really didn't know about until after the game was released, that Discord was a thing. I think if we had sort of built it earlier, we probably could add bigger, but it's fairly active, I would say. Okay. This guy's kind of bulky. He's got a chance to do a 99% HP move. It's kind of a low roll, so hopefully we don't get it, but he might use it. But he hits like a truck. Okay. Alright, cool. Say this area really started to this really nice difficulty spike. This is like, well, I guess it's technically the second dungeon we have with all 4 characters, but the last one was so short and there were only a handful of battles. This is where you really start to get to use talent. Ice Card was sort of an unfortunate pull, but that's okay. Curtis is Berserk.
Is the Ice Card buffed now, at least?
It is, yeah. It's been doing more damage. I haven't seen
Yeah.
a freeze yet, but I'm hoping for one.
No, me either, but I've seen more burns.
Yeah, burns are definitely. I got 3 burns on the pirates. Let's try another picture. I think I'm about to learn Hat Trick, so that'll be some nice damage once I get it. Oh, Wraith card, nice. Damn it. Alright. So when you're berserked, character loses half their defense. I think gains double attack power, maybe 1.5, and gets anywhere between, I want to say 2 to 4 hits, 2 to 3 hits, something like that. Do you know, Tim?
What? Wait, what is it?
Berserk. So,
Oh, yeah. It's so hard to say because I feel like it's inconsistent. Sometimes it just seems like there's a ton of them, but I know that if you double up in Berserk and have the duplicator, all of a sudden you get 8-ish attacks. So
yeah. There's some interesting effects when all those things are combined. So a lot of enemies will be designed in a way where they'll either have counters with high evasion, so they'll berserk you to sort of to get their counter, and but later on, Kel will actually learn a move that will berserk anyone you choose, and it can be very nice and effective if you use it, especially in the late game. A lot of good setups involve berserking Curtis and oh, there goes Azrael. Berserking Curtis and like buffing him a lot.
yeah, that's our offering to FF6 offering.
Yeah, that's right. What was the
Genji Glove is the other one.
right, the Genji Glove. There's like a setup on FF6 that gets
Genji-
you like 8 attack, like the fixed
Genji
die.
Glove offering.
Right, oh, Genji Glove offering, right.
Yeah, because the offering, I think, I forget what it does. I know it gives you more attacks, but I don't know why all of a sudden it goes up to 8.
Does the offering give you 4 attacks?
Maybe.
And then, or 4 attacks for each weapon you're holding. So if you're holding 2, you get 8. But I think they're like slightly weaker.
Oh. Offering is just allows the user to attack 4 times in a row.
Okay, so you get 8 attacks. And I know there's something to do with the fixed dice, but I can't remember what they do. If we have any FF6 scholars in the chat, you can let us know. It's been a while since I played FF6. I love FX6. It's got a wonderful story and great music. I just remember, like, it's so easy to break the game. You basically just learn Ultima and you win. That's it. Okay. Sure, I'm missing any. A lot of, like, secret little offshoots you gotta play close into. Trying to get every treasure chest.
Fixed dice is just random damage. It's a weapon.
For Setzer, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just gives you random damage. And if you roll 3 of the kind, then it boosts it greatly.
Huh. Okay. Let's do that. Ooh. Okay, hat trick, nice. This guy's got some hard defense, so it wasn't a great demonstration of hat trick, but people seem to like. I feel like a lot of people underestimate Talon. I think it would. I guess he takes some setup to really be a independent damage dealer by himself, but it can't happen. You just have to. There's some setups in late game where you can increase his luck really high, so his crit rate is like upwards of 70 to 80%, and that applies to hat trick. So you be getting 3 crits, easily doing about 1,500 damage each time. For very cheap, I think. What's up, Keith? Thanks for coming. I'm gonna try to fight everything because I want to get to level 50 by the end of it. Show off that new move. So Tim, maybe you could talk about the different artists that you supervise for like you can obviously look at this map. It's really detailed. It looks amazing. The overlay is great. The battle background. Maybe talk about like who did you work? Was there one guy you supervised to do all the monsters and like kind of what was the process for that?
Yeah, there were 2 people. So as far as that goes, he was the guy who did our monsters. He was pretty automated in his production of them, so I just gave him some descriptions every now and then. I gave some rough images to go with it, but one of the great things about him is that he's already a super talented artist with his own creative visions, and I've known him since like way back in the old gaming world forums, so RPG Maker days.
Oh, I didn't know that was an RPG Maker guy. That's cool.
Yeah, DE, if you remember.
All right, yeah.
Dragon Emperor, I think he went by then.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, he did a great job with that, and then the same is pretty much true for our tile set artist. He was even more automatic. We just sort of gave him the settings of the areas, and he pumped out beautiful work. He recently, I don't know if anyone's ever played the Mummy Demastered game for the DS, but that game was recently released and beloved by many for its pixel art. So
is that the same artist who worked on Tower 57, or is it someone else?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, his pixel art is incredible.
Yeah, so
He seems like a really nice guy too. He's like always posting like stuff on Twitter, like tips and stuff. He's not like condescending about it. He just wants to
No,
like
not at
advance the art of pixel.
yeah, exactly.
Just cool.
Both super excellent, super reliable artists. I still work with a monster artist on a weekly basis,
Nice.
doing stuff for me.
So when you were at Zynga, did you mostly did supervising sort of roles?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I pitched in with art pretty much every day, but I just did the stuff that I liked, which is mostly large icons. This is just one-off pieces that you can make, and then I do whatever anyone else didn't want to do to keep up morale.
Right.
But mostly my job at Zynga was to keep everyone else on the team away from the artists, because that was a huge case of low morale in the company in general. So
Oh, really?
on many other teams, the art directors would just like buy to the every wish of every other developer and see title person on the team. And so some people, they ended up having to work 80 hours a week for months straight. And I kept my artists in at 9 and out by 5 every single day.
Yeah, that's good, man. The crunch, I hear about the industry crunch. It's just not good for. You're gonna get diminishing returns at some point.
Right.
But
I mean, I wasn't really a loved art director by the higher ups, but my artists loved me, and that's all that mattered to me.
well, if they were delivering good products,
Right. And they were. I mean, we always hit our goals, but when they asked for them, I kept them reasonable in the first place.
You didn't let the goalposts move too much.
Right, exactly. I'd be like, no, listen.
Yeah. Would you say like your gig was a lot of like translating non-artistic comments in a way so your artist would be able to realize the vision? So like people would just say like, oh, I want it like this, and then you would like translate that in a way artists would understand what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean that's a big part of it. And I had some other creative people who like did the maps and things like that in the story. And we had our own like tight-knit group too, that we sort of insulated ourselves from our bosses. So it was a collaborative effort.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, maintaining the vision, that's an important part of an art director role.
Yikes. As he got smashed. I got all the burns. Yeah, I read that book by the Kotaku guy, Jason Schreier, I think his name is, and it's called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, and it was actually a really fascinating read. I don't know much about the video game industry, really. I've just always been a fan, and but just hearing about for like first-hand accounts from all these developers, like the amount of crunch and stress they went through, and like goalposts moving, and being 2 years in development, and then suddenly like a corporate overlord just like pulls the plug on something or tells them they have to change the entire story. Or it's kind of insane.
Yeah, I mean, I only produced one game while at Zynga in 4 years, and after the first game, Treasure Isle, that we worked on, and then we all just get shifted to different teams, and there's sort of a diaspora of the team where everyone goes different ways. Even though we've like gelled and worked together for 2 years and knew how to do it, you know, they just like get poached by every other team.
Right.
So they prioritize it that way, and then also every other project I worked on got canceled. One of them was like 2 years in development, and they just like shot it down.
That sucks. Oh, so
shortly after that, where I took a sabbatical and then quit my job in the middle of it, but still kept the sabbatical going for a little bit after my decision.
Gotcha. So for just real quick, this is an easy to miss little secret path right here. It's very cleverly hidden behind that giant weeping willow or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And this item right here is very nice. It's called the Wraith Band, which gives you a plus 20 to AP. Now you're gonna need at least that to be able to do Azzy's ultimate move. That's why I'm showing it to you. It's not missable though.
Yeah, that was another one I missed.
Yeah.
Despite it being not missable.
I think there's only like maybe a handful of items you could miss permanently. I really did try to make sure that if you did like miss an item, you could always go back. The one big one, which is not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, is that you can miss the first purple chest in the game. And it's in clear sight. I mean, you see it, so you just choose not to get it, I guess. But you can't go back to the Tangle, unfortunately. And if you're like an achievement hunter, you would miss that achievement. There was really no way to make that not a missable thing, because story-wise, it just doesn't make sense to return to the Tangle.
Right, and we also wanted to have a legendary treasure in the beginning to demonstrate what they are.
Right, yeah. Kind of you can see it, but you gotta figure out how to get to it. I'd say the Tangle one is definitely the easiest one to find.
Yeah, I agree with that. But, I mean, if you miss it, at least you could start a new game and get it in 5 minutes and complete that achievement. But most likely, if you missed that one, you probably missed more.
Yeah. Luckily, there's one in every dungeon. So Misty Woods, there's one. Wind Tower. There's one in the water. There's one in the swamp too. Yeah, I'll show you the one in the swamp. Keep forgetting about that. And there's one in the water garden. Yeah, pretty much every major dungeon there is one. And there's one in the final dungeon too, which that one is actually permanently missable as well.
True.
But it's another one of those things that's clearly in sight. It's a tricky thing. I remember as a RPG player myself, I don't particularly like missing items. Sometimes just the way things are designed, it's hard to not have that be a thing. Like one example of a game that I really hate missing items is Final Fantasy IX, because the equipment teaches you abilities. And every time I play that game, I say, I'm going to learn every ability. I'm going to get every piece of equipment. I'm not going to miss it this time. And inevitably, there's this one shop in this one town you don't have to go to in Disc 3. And if you don't go to it and you go to this next scene, you can never return. And the rod is like, gives Steiner this one move and gives Vivi like all his level 3 magic spells. Every time I freaking play FF9, I'm like super thorough. I get every freaking item, and then I miss those, and there's nowhere else to get it.
That sucks.
Yeah, I was like looking in a way of like
Level 3
hacking
spells.
him in, but I couldn't figure out a way to hack him. Yeah, it was a drag.
That's one game I still haven't played through.
It's a good game. It does a lot of things
I haven't
right.
played 9 or 10, and I think 11 is the online one.
Yeah, 11's the first MMO.
I played 12, and then my girlfriend beat it because I got tired of playing it towards the end. So I was just like focusing on work and trying to get my Pixel career off the ground. So I was just doing that while she was playing it after work, and then maybe like 2 weeks later she was like, "Hey, I'm about to beat the game. Do you want to watch?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, I remember getting that game, and it wasn't really my cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I kind of quit about 10 hours in. So, for those of you who weren't here yesterday, all these gravestones past Adam are all Kickstarter backers. And actually, let me show you this one. Tim and I were members of a forum. Actually, me, Tim, and Josh Scarlett's one of our programmers. We're all members of a gaming forum, RPG Maker forum back in the early 2000s called Gaming World. And someone who kickstarted us asked us to do a little tribute to him. So he actually unfortunately passed away several years ago, I think. I can't remember where his gravestone is.
Yeah, that was almost like 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
Steel, I think his name was.
Here, I think this is it. Yeah, Amark Summit Patra. He was Steel Paladin. He unfortunately got cancer and passed away, maybe around...
There it is.
Yeah. I don't remember him too much. I think he sort of came into...
He was super woke for the time.
Yeah.
He talked a lot about human rights and issues like racism and stuff like that before it was a contentious issue.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But he was also a bit of a troll. But
I remember the trolliness a little bit. I think he kind of started getting into the community around the time I was leaving.
yeah,
So here's one of the essences in our game. I want to make sure you pick that up. These are all just Kickstarter backers. Some are a little immersion breaking. Like Here Lies Lord of Wars with 2 Z's.
yeah, I know.
Always remember to bring extra rope. That's pretty dark. Holy shit. Kind of surprised we let that, unless they're implying something else, but I don't. Wow. Maybe we should think about removing that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, whenever I read it, I just thought like
Maybe
you're going through a cavern and.
yeah, maybe that's what they mean.
But I know what you're saying. It's through now. It's how do we even find out who did it?
Yeah.
And no one's complained.
It's true. Well, not
But-
yet. I'm just kidding.
Right. I mean, if we get some feedback negative, then yeah.
Alright, so these battles are tough because this Death Cap guy in the middle is like the first real bruiser of the game, I feel like. And these sort of tropey sort of enemies you'll start seeing later. As I kind of talked about yesterday, each dungeon I feel like adds a new qualitative aspect. So I think in this dungeon, this is the first time you start seeing people who can berserk you, start zapping, like they can steal health from you, like the mosquitoes. And these like giant ass, high HP, high physical monsters. If you haven't learned how to have forward presence in the game by this point, you're going to be in trouble. I've seen a lot of players like play very cautiously, and they can get by in the first 2-3 hours, and then when they get here, they quickly realize that kind of stalling is not going to be the best strat.
Hopefully, anyways. I feel bad for those who don't.
Well, I mean, you could get through it, but like, I've seen people like that will go through at least the wind tower just attacking, and even in the wind tower, those skeleton dudes like
Yeah.
just crush you if you're not like They go down like a bitch if you just cast a Chiwei, but you know.
True, I don't think they did it first either.
Yeah, I remember being like kind of like a post maybe alpha build edition.
Yeah, that was my first foray into making things impossibly hard. Was that place?
I think the Wind Tower is pretty good. The only
Yeah,
really
well, I know
What's that?
I mean, we fixed it up.
Yeah. I remember the alpha build that we put out was like really difficult, and a couple people complained about that. But mainly it was a lot to do with like broken AI and stuff. I remember the AI wasn't quite working.
But yeah, I think I wanted the Wind Tower, or maybe the Swamp. The Wind Tower or the Swamp to feel like the Marsh in Final Fantasy 1. The Marsh Cave.
I never played the first Final Fantasy. Well,
Oh.
more than like an hour of it.
It's notorious for being just like brutal.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think looking back, I'm pretty sure like half of the enemies had these basically instant death status effects, like Petrify, and all of them would use it all the time. Hey Keith, it was all through chat and email. We still have never all met in person.
Yeah. I've met Josh twice now. Josh lives about 4 hours from where I live, and we've done 2 conferences together. We did Too Many Games, and then we did Magfest recently, and Josh is cool. He's not like an axe murderer or anything. He's just like me. He's just another dorky guy who likes video games. Yeah. I think the Z-Boy guys like do remote stuff too. More common than you'd think. Basically, the story of how this game started was that Josh and I had been infamous, at least in my own mind, for making terrible RPG Maker games, and we had tried to make games together for about, I don't know, since I was about 13. I'm 30 now, so you can do the math there. And like October 1st, 2013, he contacted me again and said, let's do like an 8-bit mobile game. That was the idea, to do an 8-bit mobile game. And as you can see by our weird resolution, that's an artifact of that decision, which has kind of bit us in the ass a few times. But it's what it is. And then I think maybe like a few weeks later, we were like thinking, man, if we could just get someone to just do a few little pixel art things for us, that'd be great. And so I remember being on Gaming World, which I'd been on in years, and I posted something like looking for Tim's old RPG Maker game, Whack-A-Food, the sequel. And literally like that same day, Tim commented. And
after not being on the forums also for 5 years.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. So, and then I said, hey man, me and Josh are doing this thing, and would you like to make some pixel art? And that's basically how it started.
Yeah, that's when I was quitting Zynga. I was on my sabbatical, actually.
Fun times.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get the second appearance from Zach and Nick, the Power Ranger duo.
Yeah, I just did this page in the strategy guide.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's our final Kickstarter incentive that we have to meet. It's our player's guide, which is really cool in theory, but it's ended up being a lot of work, mostly for Tim. But I think it will come out really well. I've seen the pages; it looks really cool. It kind of has a very retro feel to it.
Yeah, I wrote an incessant like series of puns just to match the scene.
Yeah,
I was gonna post it last night, but I didn't finish the page yet. Just have to do the like battle write-up.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if anyone here is familiar with the game and wants to do some battle strats, we're still looking for guest spots in the guide. We've got like 2 days to commit.
Yeah, it's 4 Zach and Nick battles, and they're all kind of unique, I think. The third one is my hardest one because Nick always spams that AoE silence, and you can really like thwart your plan. It's quite funny though because Dolwolf, the speedrunner, has like this incredibly specific route for Zach and Nick battles, and on the Wind Tower battle, he just like kicks their ass in like 2 turns. It's like unbelievable, like to a science. But he has this really specific route for the second battle, but if one thing goes wrong, it's like completely fucked. So I imagine he's going to have to come up with a few backup strats for the tournament or the marathon. And he always gets through it, of course, but he'll have like every turn specific thing he has to do, and it's interesting to watch.
Because when you're speed running, you're not nearly as high level. So
Right. Luckily in our
Right.
game, there's a lot of required fights, but yeah, he skips as many as he can.
Thanks. Hey Keith, I'm actually in Milwaukee, so maybe I'll take you up on that in Chicago or something.
So I don't remember the strat for this. I completely forget. I think the first 2 times you fight Zack and Nick, they have the same weaknesses, and then they swap in the third battle. It's kind of a little trick.
I think they swap in this one.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Pretty sure. But yeah, I'm gonna take notes here because I have to write this tonight.
So, okay, Nick is definitely strong against fire. I think they're still the same weaknesses. Let me try
Okay.
lightning real fast.
Well, Flare will answer that one.
Yeah, I just saw a flare and it did way less damage on Nick.
Nick. Oh yeah, so they're the same.
Yeah, guys, believe it or not, we actually did make this game. I already talked a little bit about the Zack and Nick, but my inspiration for them was the Sam and Eric characters in Lord of the Flies. They're the two little... I don't know if they're like toddlers or like little kids in the story. But they just start getting referred to as one name, Sam and Eric. And I thought that was really funny. So when me and Josh, 2006-ish, working on an RPG Maker game, which was complete trash, but it was called Last Legend. And I had 2 characters named Zack and Nick. And Nick was like this ninja dude, and Zack was like kind of this fat guy. Holy crap! That's rough. Forget he does that desperation move and he just slams like 4 characters.
Oh yeah, there's like a 3-second delay, so I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, right.
Now I see it.
Let's see. I'm gonna try to get a poison on him. There we go. Rejuvenate for the win. Oh, he's got the... Oh yeah, they got the healing items too, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of AI in these battles, actually. So they can go a lot of different ways depending on who you kill first. The other gets like a desperation move, I suppose. So they'll trigger them. I can't remember what Nick's desperation is in this. It might be. Actually, I don't remember.
I think every desperation foreshadows the next fight.
Right, because in the first battle, Nick cast Mirage on himself.
Yeah. So I think in this one, if Nick is the survivor, then he will do Hush to
Right,
silence the party.
right, because he does that in the third battle.
But you demonstrated the strat clearly here. So
Yeah,
suplex.
I'm really
and
good.
Spirit punch, lightning spirit punch, Nick, and then poison Zack. Finish him up with suplexes and flares.
Yeah, I always like to take Nick out first because he's fastest and he gets the most hits.
Yeah,
And he
he's
has the
one who
lowest
deals
HP.
damage.
He's kind of the glass cannon.
Right.
So, Water Guard is my favorite map in the game, just by design. Luke did a wonderful job with this, and he actually has like a sketch on his Facebook page where he put the entire map drawn out, and it was very detailed.
Oh really?
Yeah, on his Loon Calcery or whatever it is. So a few things that going with the show not tell. This first little treasure is a remedy. It's kind of a hint from me that this is going to be the dungeon where you start seeing a lot of random stat effects. So you come up to these little statues right here, and you can't progress unless you push them. And right ahead of is a reset switch. So without giving you a long-winded tutorial, we already taught you. You can push statues. You can reset them by hitting that. Ideally, we would have had a way to force you to go left first, because this, I feel, is the more of the tutorial of the concept, but most people tend to go left first. So it's a very simple little puzzle. Very simple. It's sort of the gimme to sort of teach you how it works. I think you don't have to be that intuitive to figure it out, but from what I've seen, most people figure it out. Okay. And this always trips up people. They see that and think it's like an orb or something. Alright, so this guy is the first guy who starts like blurring. And actually, until a few patches ago, you couldn't really do anything about blur. And in fact, it was bugged in a way where even if it did go away, their evasion never reset. But that's fixed now. And I think a backer might have suggested that taunt could remove blur, so I'm gonna taunt that guy.
It was either a backer or somebody on Steam forums.
Let's pick a card. So he's got this move called Smear, which is a little annoying. He's gonna set a random stat to 1, but luckily it was nothing huge.
Yeah, this stat, I would probably either message it a lot more clearly, the effect it has, because you see it and it flashes by for a split second,
right,
and it's not very easy to remember, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, why does my auto attack do nothing?
Right.
You don't really put the two together. So either have it as a status where it's like
status effect,
attack down, or attack way down.
Yeah. So here's another example of the purple chest. Another, you can see it, but you can't get it. In fact, you can't get this until probably 80% through the dungeon. So it's sort of like, remember that. So one thing we didn't really teach the player is that you can stack statues, and this puzzle is not too bad. Usually what I like to do is just sort of go backwards. So I know I got to go here, I got to get here. How do I get there? Well, use 2 statues. Oh, whoops.
No, you're good.
Alright, there we go. Usually most casual players get those first 2 fairly simply. There's one coming up which is pretty infamous. There's a couple like YouTube tutorials on how to solve it.
Upper left area, right?
What's that?
The upper left area?
Yeah. Okay.
Northwest part.
So these guys, if I remember, have high defense and high attack. So I think the only way I'm really going to be able to do any damage is if I heartbreak them. Fire's not going to do much. And suplex, I think they're weak to crush.
I think they're really not, and I think that everyone thinks that they are because they're stone. I'll look it up since we have that privilege.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. It usually like does a lot of damage though. Not too much. I guess I could just mind read them. Nope. Oh.
Just pierce.
Oh, they're weak to pierce. Right, okay.
Yeah, my idea was that piercing things can go through stone. I don't know exactly where I came up with that concept because it doesn't make as much sense as crush. But pretty much everything stone is weak to pierce in this game.
Oh, okay. Pierce would be Talon's darts.
Yeah, in retrospect, it should be crush. I think it was because pierce in general is like a defense breaker type move in games.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But really, it should have been crush.
Lessons learned.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Oh yeah, so that was, I just went to get that treasure right there, little secret area. So mentioned that we have this thunder sword. It's actually got significantly less attack power than a bronze sword, but it's got a little magic boost, which is decent. Really, I'm going to use that when I go into battles with birds, because birds, as we know from Pokemon, are weak to lightning or electric. Isn't that funny? I never really thought about that until just when I said it. Pokemon has the lightning elemental, but they call it electric. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Pokemon Gen 1 is the most broken piece of shit. I mean, I love that game so much, but none of it works.
I think birds are weak in FF games too.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's sort of intuitive for some reason. I guess because you think like they're in the sky, they're gonna get hit by it, and it's gonna.
Dude, well, if a bird got hit by lightning, you think it's gonna live?
Yeah. Unless it becomes like a super bird. Okay.
Yeah, Zapdos.
Zapdos. Okay. So, you guys are in the chat. Feel free to ask any questions. Don't feel shy. Looks like we got a decent crowd tonight. And any like signal boosting on Facebook is always helpful, or Twitter, or whatever. Trying to build these streams. Hold on, let me show you guys the secret. If you type exclamation SOA, I believe that's going to tell you how to get our game, which is currently on sale. No, it's these crystals that are weak to crush. That's what I'm thinking. Crystals are weak to crush.
Yeah.
But yeah, our game is currently on sale to celebrate the 1-year anniversary, which is February 23rd. Yeah, we made a game, and you're watching it. Okay, let's see. So we got to figure out how to get to that little thing right there. I remember the first time someone saw that, they said, "Is that a glitch? It's like, why is that staircase there? That must be a glitch." No, you'll find out. I'm like always low at AP.
Right. Why would they question the staircase and not the treasure?
I don't know.
Or why would they not notice the staircase directly to the left going into the water? But
I'm gonna go to my Thunder Sword. And I'm going to try and see if I can deal with this giant dude. Crap, she didn't have anything.
Murder bird.
Murder bird. I have a spinach. Nice. Might be able
Pretty
to.
low on AP.
So he's got double. That was pretty significant damage. Ouch. Okay. I'm prepared for this battle. This is one of the tougher battles, so I have a kind of a prepared strat for it. I think Kellen will be able to take him out. Nice crit, Talon. There we go. Nice crit. Nice. Alright.
You know, Pierce should have probably been strong versus crystal enemies. Because they're the ones who have like one weak point, and if you hit it, then they break.
Yeah.
Whereas if you threw it, it probably wouldn't break. You could just like crack one spot and then they shatter.
I think Suplex should just be its own type. And everything is weak against
It's
it.
just awesome versus everything.
Let's see. You know, I'm gonna actually tank a little bit and see if I can get some AP back. So usually don't like to stall too much, but I don't think this battle's gonna hurt me too bad. I got a couple burns off.
Yeah, I think it's weird that these things catch fire.
Yeah.
Nothing about them says that they would catch fire.
Yeah.
They are like immune to fire, at least I think.
I like we're like seeing the complete all the fallacies of our game as we're like suddenly in a like a very reflective period because we're like suddenly in front of an audience. This is the stuff we talk about like pretty daily on Slack.
Yeah, right. To be fair, this is anytime I see the game, it's all I think about.
Yeah.
It's how to improve it.
Yeah. Yeah, usually when I see the game, I think of like little things that I wish we could fix, and a lot of it we have actually. And then I think like about some of the music, how I wish I'd written something differently, or like what I know now about production, I wish I knew now. But it's all good. Part of like any sort of art or craft is you do it and you learn from it, you try to get better and improve it as much as you can and apply it to like the next thing, I think. Oh crap, this guy. Okay.
Right. I think if you're consistently happy with your work, then you're no longer growing as an artist in whatever like field you're in.
Yeah. Makes sense. Let's get the lightning card. That would be killing. Oh, I got the insta-def. Got the insta-def with the Wraith card. That's like a 5% or something like that.
Alright, here it comes. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's cool how that works. It just shows the rest of the HP.
Yeah.
Some good brownie XP too.
Yeah. Because once the brownies are weird because if you get rid of their shield, they have like a round before they'll just run away, and they have good drops.
Yeah.
Eric, you like that new suplex concept, man? I like it too. It's funny that like we sort of piggybacked off that FF6 thing so much. I don't even remember like having a big discussion about suplex being a move. I just remember one day it was a move. Like maybe Tim like suggested it. Tim made up all the skills.
Demanded it.
And then Josh made the animation. We're like, oh, that's cool. But we were like not like so big into like the saving thing because literally anyone who played the game at the conference that I saw, that Josh saw, it was all oh, can you suplex a train? Is there a train to suplex? And we're like, come on, that's just ridiculous. Why? Like, that's just, we can't do that. And then finally, when we did our DLC, we're like, well, might as well steer into the skier a little bit. Oh wait, what did I say? Steer into the skid, rather. Or whatever the expression is. Okay, yeah, this one is hilarious. It looks very complicated. What's that?
Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like the slime train never blew up as much as it could have, should have.
Yeah.
Maybe we needed to do a legit ghost train, just to like piss some people off, so they would talk about it that way.
Well, you know, if it's played at RPG Limit Break and that incentive is met, Doug's gonna load a save and do it. So this looks way hard. There's like 4 of these and they're really complicated, but all you gotta do is this. And I'm sure Dorothy's watching right now and just thinking to herself, oh man, wish I knew how to do that. It looks very complicated, but it's really simple. Tip for you in the future, Dorothy, is just to work backwards. Visualize the path from the you know, where it needs to go into where it is, and then you can sort of see where you might need to move statues.
To be fair, I knew that, and I think I got stuck on this one for a good hour.
Yeah. Just wait
well, maybe not an hour.
If you end up doing the DLC dungeon, just that's tough. We had our testers, man.
Yeah.
They were like, there needs to be some sort of hint. So Tim gave a few visual clues. But people have solved it. You know, people have done it.
True. There were absolutely no hints in the beginning. I was just like, if you want the treasures, figure it out. Good luck.
Right.
But everyone thought it was too cruel. And it was.
It's so hard to find those balances as developers because, you know, we generally know everything. We know how to solve everything. We know all the solutions. And it's hard to find that right balance. And also the consideration for that was like, this is like an optional super dungeon. It should be hard, right?
Yeah.
So I think we found the right balance though.
Yeah. Interestingly enough though, one of the puzzles, the like intended solution is trickier than the solution every single streamer has come up with.
Oh really?
In one of the areas. I think the one like to the left and to the north of the like once you get past the first puzzle before you go downstairs. You're supposed to go downstairs and solve that puzzle first, and then it'll give you like a secret passageway to get an extra statue to solve the next puzzle.
Oh.
Which I designed it in such a way that I thought that you needed that extra statue to solve it. Everybody solved it without doing a way to make it work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there's like all the puzzles like in the parts that Luke did all have at least 2 solutions that I've seen. Especially with the teleporters later in the game. There's some really nice solutions. To be fair, I think the only puzzle of the Mystic Cave I've actually solved is the first one. I have never actually solved the other ones. I think every time I tested it, I just used the clip through walls hack. So when we get there, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I should do it blind or if I should actually like look up the solution because it might take me a while.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Great wings, forgot about those. That's good.
But I guess one thing worth noting is Dowolf, when he speedruns this area, he has to kill the brownies, right?
Yes.
Who run away.
I think what he does is he just he buys enough grenades. He buys 8 grenades because I think there's 2 required brownie fights or 3 or something, and 8 grenades will be enough to instantly kill him. So the first round he just throws all the grenades. They can't miss.
Yeah.
So he routes his money. But I think recently he rerouted the game so that he doesn't have to have Azrael get Wraithstorm. Originally, like, Wraithstorm was essential to getting to winning, and I can't do any damage because I have a Thunder Sword. I forgot. So but now he doesn't need Wraithstorm at all. He just like YOLOs with Curtis. Basically, he just super buffs Curtis, and Curtis like single-handedly does all the damage.
That is definitely the only way I played it towards the end of the game.
The thing is, like, I feel like Kellen is a little underrated too, because with his cleave Final Light combinations, when you use them in the right spots, they can be really effective.
Agreed. But
Final Light. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Tim.
I was just gonna say Rally is so strong though. I feel like it's wasted for the consistent output you get out of a Rally over 3 turns versus the 1 turn on a cleave or a
Right?
Final Light. But a Final Light finisher,
Yeah. Yeah, Final Light does more damage the more HP a opponent is missing, and so the more maximum HP they have, and if a lot of it's missing, it will do significant damage. That's good on in-game bosses. I keep forgetting I can't hurt him with. What are they weak to? They're weak to Pierce. What am I doing? Parry. Alright, let's do you, Talon. Ugh. There we go. Cool. Alright. Some more secret little treasures. First Mega Potion of the game, I believe. Alright, the Jinxie Birds. I'm just gonna go ahead and spam attack, which I usually don't do, but should work fine for this. And he threw a Ninja Star at me. What a little bitch. Ooh, Psyblast, nice.
nobody understands why these birds use items.
It's...
But
Yeah, why
it's
do they?
all in the design. Because they always seem like some shady, like wonky birds to me. So I was like, what's the most shadiest, wonkiest thing they can do? It's like they can act like humans.
You know what he needs is he needs like a beret and a cigar coming out his mouth.
The like hidden Fidel Castro version.
Okay, let's do that. Crap. Come on, Kellen, don't miss, dude. Ugh. Anyway, this dungeon, yeah, a lot about status effects, like different sorts of enemies with unique immunities that you have to figure out. So if you haven't learned by this point, you can't just spam attack. So I can see that treasure. I don't think I can get it yet. I think I can get it later, but I'll be getting that very shortly. Use that to jump over the rock. So I gotta give a shout out to Josh, who programmed all these water mechanics, which are very impressive. When you're planning ideas, it's really easy to come up with cool ideas, but unless you have good programmers to execute them, they're just an idea. And luckily, our 2 programmers are very talented.
They are. They never let us down, have they?
No, they both kind of have, they both complement each other well with their skill sets. But Josh, I think, was responsible for the majority of all the dungeon puzzle stuff.
Yeah.
Luke was very good at scoping out exactly what he needed, and Josh usually got it done promptly. Late in the next dungeon, you're going to see some minecarts, which are really neat too.
True, we didn't really build anything superfluous for our game, did we?
No.
Everyone put the axe on it or knew the direction well in advance, so we never wasted time.
Yeah.
We also had the mantra of cutting stuff right away. I know you mentioned that earlier, but it's worth stressing that we know how to cut from the beginning.
It's
it was
hard.
Already an idea in our demo.
Right. It's a hard thing to do, especially when you're with a lot of creative people. And I know that there were ideas that I had that I thought were really cool that were cut. You know, it's just sort of how it goes, but it's part of focusing a product, making sure you can actually get it done, making sure the budget stays within reason, because, you know, the more money you spend, the more things you got to sell to break even. These are all considerations.
Yeah.
So having done my first developer experience, sometimes when we get these sort of derisive comments from people who say, "Oh, you're lazy, why didn't you do that?" or "Why didn't you just do that?" And sometimes it's just as simple as we looked at the ROI and it just, we just couldn't make it happen. But for the most part, I'd say 99.9% of everyone we've interacted with for Shadows of Adam has been absolutely wonderful.
According to Steam, 95.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah. But if we count the whole world, then you're right, 99.
Yeah, there's a few trolls in our reviews. There's 1 or 2 reviews we have which are pretty legitimate, have some legitimate gripes, and we've addressed a lot of them, and we welcome that valid feedback. But there was a review or 2 that was just played for 30 minutes and said, this isn't as good as Final Fantasy VI. Go play that. And I would say, yeah, this isn't as good as Final Fantasy VI, one of the best RPGs ever made. But anyway, sorry, I'm a little salty about that.
I think the like one that got all the like contention got removed.
Oh, really?
Yes, it no longer shows up. For
Oh,
me.
weird. Reminds me of when Celeste came out. I haven't played it yet, but it looks like a fabulous game. And it literally had 100% positive rating on Steam. Like, not a single review was bad. And then one person gave it a review, and it was just like this trash review. It was like, this is a stupid, SJW game, and I'm not gonna buy it. And I'm like, what kind of review is that? Like, that's total. Then of course, like, I looked at all the other guys' reviews, and there was all like similar garbage to that. So I don't know if it was just a troll or someone like just trying to be a dick. But I was so frustrated because it was like that perfect 100%, that they had.
Yeah, painted.
I like even numbers.
But I mean, you're right. But I mean, that game was it's advertised as that even.
Right.
It's supposed to be. Wait, what does SJW stand for? Sounds like
Social Justice Warrior.
Oh, that's stupid. Oh yeah, you're right. No,
I think it's because it had a female protagonist, and that's
right.
That's controversial. I guess I don't know why that would be.
Probably a 4chan troll.
Yeah, it had to be a troll. The other day, I was trying to explain to some coworkers what like 4chan trolling was, and I remember the time the meme over 9,000, and those people trolled Oprah. You remember that when they sent the thing that said, "We are coming for you. We have over 9,000 penises."
No.
And Oprah read it live on her show. She's like,
wow.
They're out there, and they're armed and ready to go. They have 9,000 penises. I was like, holy crap, they trolled Oprah, who will probably be president in 2020. Sorry, I don't want to get into politics, but I had to say that. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'd say they're still doing work. I'm pretty sure that they trolled during the like recent Florida shooting. They did some trolling of their own party, assuming that most of them are like conservative trolls in the first place. But yeah, they trolled their own party with fake news, and then their party went and sold it to the rest of the world, and now it's a trending thing.
Yeah, internet is full of interesting people.
Right. They don't care. They're just like, this is absurd. We're gonna make it as absurd as possible.
Right.
Unfortunately, they're like all mouth breathers to go with it.
Yeah.
So, whatever. I'm not going there.
Yeah. Anyway, so on a less potentially contentious topic, well, it kind of has to do with 4chan, but not really. But we're trying to like hire people for the Navy band, and this guy, like, I didn't even know who he was. We're like at an all hands meeting, and like he comes up to talk about auditions, and completely deadpan comes up and says, "So I'm the auditions supervisor, and we've been doing a great job getting out the word for people to audition. We've been contacting, the Union magazine and websites like Facebook and 4chan." And I think I was one of the only 4 people in the room that one knew what that meant and thought it was funny. But I was laughing so hard, and all these guys are like in military uniform, like completely stone-faced, didn't know what he was talking about. This guy was like totally just joking, and I thought it was hilarious.
That's funny.
Like, we're gonna go
to actual recruiter though.
Well, he's like in the Navy band.
Right,
His
like-
job is to like when we have an opening, his job is
Yeah,
to make sure
promote it.
people hear about it, basically.
I see.
And
I see. So they're just like, oh great. It's like,
oh, 4chan, sure, yeah, sure, we'll get a great trombone player from 4chan.
I'm glad he's targeting them.
I'm pretty sure he was joking,
Right.
because even the way he
Right.
was talking was kind of like ironic, memey or whatever.
Right. Well, it always feels good to be on the like side where that gets it.
Yeah. Let's see. I need to. Crap. What am I doing? What did I do wrong? Oh yeah. So that was the puzzle that everyone struggles with. I just solved it. Sorry, I should have talked about it, but.
Show the speedrun strat with the water switches.
Oh yeah. For some reason, you can do this. So that's the thing.
Wait, no, That's not the one. It's from above.
Yeah.
Oh wait, never mind the delay.
It's one of those things where, like, I'm sure it'd be an easy fix, but at this point it's like, this guy, like, got a whole route, and he's, like, about to go to RPG Limit Break, and I don't think anyone in casual play has discovered it. Speedrunners are just, like, a different sort of ilk, man. They look at things differently. They find ways to, like, break stuff. And in a way, I kind of appreciate that.
It's admirable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because how do you even think like that? You need bug testing your game.
Right, yeah.
Next game.
Oh, yeah. So, Dolewolf, if you're watching, man, you're going to be bug testing whatever our next game is if it happens. I would just be like, break.
Adam 2000.
Yeah. Shadows of Adam 2 will come out when Star Wars Episode 12 will come out. I can make that promise right now. Ryan Johnson will be our creative director. We'll have a hologram version of Carrie Fisher.
And she'll be blurred, right?
Yeah.
We'll keep blur.
Oh no, he ran away. Alright. Ooh, I learned Blizzard. Like, way ahead of the, I've fought every battle, I think, so far. Let me check some real fast. Make sure. Right. I'm, like, paranoid about dropping frames for some reason.
Frame rate is pretty good, I think.
Okay. I might, like, in a second,
your
maybe
voice
after.
is jumping every now and then.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up. Something about my PC just like, oh, whoops, forgot that. Look at, like, weird. I don't know, it's like a gaming PC. It's called I Buy Power. Like, I'm literally buying power, right? I gotta run away. Got to put the lightning sword. Okay, let's do this. Okay. I just got Ether, I'll give it to Azzy. Okay, I got this guy. So, Kellen's got the Duplicator. And the Thunder Sword, which he's weak to.
Hey, what if you attack with Azzy on that thing? She's got the Thunder Rod, right?
No, oh yeah, that's right.
Her damage is probably not... It's not that, like, underrated for a mage.
Yeah.
I tried to make it, like, okay.
Yeah, it just
and,
good. And a lot of things are weak to Crush, too, which her Rod is.
Right.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
I think that's probably the most unrated ability or action in the battle system.
Azzy's attack.
Azzy's basic attack.
Yeah.
What if you... It would be nice if you gave her, if she ended up actually having a weapon with every type of element.
I thought her final, like her Wizard Rod has that.
It's got magic. Wait, maybe it does, I don't know. But I mean, like, well, I guess you're gonna lose, like, attack damage as the weapons progress. But if they all had, like, equivalent type of damage or attack boost,
right?
I don't know. It would be interesting if you could just, like, use her with Berserk Rally and equip whatever the enemy's weak to.
Maybe it should. I'm gonna put out a challenge. Someone out there, come up with the Azrael Murdered build where she can just, like, wail with her physical attack. Maybe, like, put the Duplicator, double up, put a bunch of spinach, and then I don't know. Maybe, like, the what's the artifact that spends AP to do more damage? The Enhancer?
Brutalizer.
Brutalizer, yeah. So here's a fun little thing. So, like, when this game came out, like, you learned, like, very small little things. Like, this save point actually used to be, like, 2 tiles over. And the issue was that people were skipping it.
And then the boss had instant death.
Oh, the original version of this boss was pretty tough. Because he had an AI, I think, whereas if you were at full HP, he instant killed you.
Do a guild run before you
oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna go fight the I'm gonna go see if I can beat that freaking battle arena tier now. Probably gonna crush it. Crush it. Oh, I got another essence too, so I can go and do this.
Yeah, Azzy basic attack only run.
That'd be cool.
How about that?
Oh my god.
First one who does it gets the Wraithling plushie.
Yeah. We'll pay for it to make it. Attack only run, wow.
I mean, just Azzy.
Or
You
maybe
can use
like
skills.
maybe it could be something like beat King Simeon with only Azzy using basic attacks. I don't know if that'd be possible. That
Sure,
might.
she has crush. He's weak to crush.
Oh, that's right. But would the rules be that you couldn't have the other people do support spells on her? Or
No, of course you can. That's the point.
okay, but they can't
That's
do
why I'm
damage.
saying
No.
the entire game, just basic attacks.
Ah,
But I mean, if you want to make it watchable, then yeah, just one fight, and King Simeon's probably the best
yeah.
for that.
I'm trying to decide what I want. I'm thinking about putting the Greedy Gauntlet on
Yeah.
because I'm going to be doing a lot of foraging, so I'm going to do that. So now I have a fully forged Knight's Mane. I won't be able to get another Reliquary until I get the airship, but that was kind of a way we sort of balanced the game, because if you just had 4 Reliquaries in normal story, you'd just be destroying everything.
Right.
But having 4 Reliquaries or 3 Reliquaries is almost like needed to beat the Misty Cave. Very challenging. And actually, King Simeon too. I always try to come up with a specific strat. If you ever need advice on beating King Simeon, Eric's Crusade, who's in the chat, I think, did a really great LP, and he details his setup, and I thought it was really good. Okay, this will be a lot easier now. So this song actually was just something I wrote as a practice assignment for myself. Shadows of Adam finished. I was, I had down periods where I was just looking for stuff to do, so I would just assign myself like little random things to do. So I'm gonna write a battle theme in 5.4 or whatever. And so that's what this is. And then when we started doing the DLC, I was like, this might be nice for the battle arena. Kind of urgent. Yeah, if any musicians out there, it's in 5.4 time. Which, if you played FF8, that battle theme is also in 5.4. I'm just crushing these. Oh, double up. Let's do it. We haven't showed double up yet. Double up is like the best move in the game, probably. I would say. It allows a character to double their move, and the second time it doesn't cost any AP. Very nice. I might actually be able to do 2 tiers after I win this one.
Yeah, you should try.
I'm gonna try.
Always try one in advance.
Yeah, it's
Although
always fun.
I was surprised how not easy it is to keep on progressing.
It's hard.
I thought like, oh, our game's busted. You can do whatever you want, just like blow through it. But nope, it's pretty well balanced. To
Yeah.
get past an area you haven't got to is not easy.
Right.
I think I can get maybe like 1 ahead, maybe
Yeah.
2 if it's like a somewhat easy tier, but not really.
Yeah, it's hard on the battle arena if you do it during story. Maybe on New Game Plus, if you have a lot of good artifact setups, you could maybe bandangle something. Let's see. I think this is the... Oh, crap. Axe Beak. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a double up lightning with a rally on Azzy. And I'll just do a... Okay, I'll
You
do a
don't have,
sideblock. Oh, I don't
don't
have...
have double up.
Okay. Screw it. Yeah, we...
Keith, yeah, basic attacks only on Azzy. I don't know how late that is, but just saw your message.
I think I got this. Oh, true. Alright, good. That's working. We accidentally... If anyone's not completely up to date, please update your build. We, somehow in a merge, like, the move streak just disappeared in the DLC build. There's like 3 enemies in the game that call the skill, and I think if they call it, the game can crash. Or something will happen. So stay
And
updated.
just shriek somehow.
Yeah.
It's super weird how that happens.
Yeah, it's because the skill file is a huge mess.
Yeah, a
Sorry,
little
we're
bit.
revealing our dirty secrets.
I think it's not too terrible,
Yeah, it's not too
all
bad.
things considered. At least it's in its own file.
That's true.
It could be like weapons, skills, items, armor,
Oh my god.
everything.
Look at the life force.
It's just the battle file. Imagine that.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, okay, let's see if I can do this. So this will be right at the edge of my
Oh, they
abilities, I
gave
think.
you Life Force already?
I got the Life Force.
Wow, we gave that pretty early, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's probably like one of the best artifacts in the game.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people like to use them, which surprised me because when I was, you know, when we made it, I didn't think much of it.
I knew it was gonna be strong, but
I think it was
think I
like
also
originally
pushed-
stronger. Look at
Maybe.
things.
I might have pushed it to even stronger at first. Which is odd, because usually I'm on the other side of the spectrum.
Right. Yeah, me and Tim have a friendly rivalry when it comes to balance. It reminds me of, like, they said, like, Lincoln had a cabinet of rivals or whatever. And that the opposing views would always, like, kind of find a nice center.
It's how democracy is supposed to work.
You're right. Yeah. it's,
I think a game wouldn't be without it, or what it is without that like push and pull from both of us.
And actually, I would say that all the teammates had really good considerations. Like, never, it was hardly ever a decision was completely unanimous. There was always one person, if at least for an intellectual exercise, would like put the brakes on something and say, "Let's consider this." Because a lot of times, like when an opportunity would present itself, I'm like all in right away, like let's do it, you know. And then one guy would be like, usually like Luke, he's kind of the guy who wants to like look at all angles.
Lots of level 1 attack smears that time.
Yeah.
That's exactly the scenario. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, right. You don't remember what happened. Let's see.
Because I mean, if you knew, you wouldn't have basic attacked.
Right. Well, I was just trying to get AP back.
Well, in that case, it sort of works in your favor.
Magic down. For Curtis. See, look at Talon, man. That's some serious damage. Talon's good. Remember when we were designing, when we designed the skills for this game, Tim did all the skill design, I think probably 90% of it. I had a few little basic ideas, but it was pretty much all Tim. And Talon's moveset was really interesting. It had like a lot of, I think he had a move at one point called Hedge, which I don't remember what it did, but it was really complex. And my only insistence, what he would have like one like bread and butter move. Poison Shiv is decent damage. It's mainly useful for the poison damage. But I insisted on something else, and that's where Hat Trick came in.
True.
Just,
it was never a thing, and then it became one. But it's great. I had fun making it and living up to your expectations.
And my expectations are very high, people. Trust me.
They're major.
Well, I'm a pretty big deal. Yeah, I'm kidding. Oh crap.
But it was definitely a challenge to do that ability, because I think that was the first one I had to learn how to use the animation script,
Alright, because
language, and all that. And basically, the animation scripts for our attacks are also what determines how the attack operates.
yeah, it's some confusing stuff for sure. This is not going.
I forget what Hedge was. You're right. I forgot completely about that ability. It was
Yeah.
definitely complex. It was something about hedging your bets.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know if it was like a support move for your team or if it was against an enemy.
I feel like it was like something similar to Antia, where it was like a damage over time sort of deal, where like
True.
the more you put
That's
down,
what it was.
the more you hedge, the more additional damage you got, or something like that.
It's basically anti-up, but more convoluted. It's probably why I forgot about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Uh-oh, Devour. Yikes.
Good reflection though.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about something else I was gonna mention, but I completely forgot. Oh, now I remember. When this game was in beta, like, oh crap, I'm not doing good. I'm gonna have to solo YOLO Curtis. Crap. When we're in beta, we had a lot of people, our Kickstarter backers, test the game, and so originally the duplicator didn't just give you X attack, it gave you X everything. So X magic, X item. And so it was so completely OP and broken. What ended up happening was people would put it on Kellen and would do double up rallies on Curtis. And no, they would do, what would they do? They would put double up on Kellen and then do X Magic rallies. So 4 rallies on Curtis and then just have like insane damage suplexes. I think I saw a guy beat the final boss in 2 suplexes or something absurd like that. That's probably not possible. It's something like that. There's no way I can win.
Yeah. I think it also, there were a number of skills and items that it was just broken bug-wise.
Yeah.
So even if it was broken the other ways, I think the main reason we canned it was because it just broke the game.
Yeah, it had some
We're
issues.
like, screw the time to fix it. We'll just make it attack.
Right. Sometimes it's like those nice
Ended
things.
up in our favor.
Yeah, it's where it's like it's not only imbalancing the game, it also is causing bugs. When that's the issue, when it's both of those, it's like screw it, just cut it. Yeah. Like I think at some point we had like a mirror magic kind of move, and that was causing issues, and we cut that. There were a lot of little random little things we cut. Okay, I think I can like really pwn this boss if I play right. So he's gonna open up with 2 moves. He's gonna do a Death Gaze on one character, which is gonna do 99% HP. Can't kill me. I'm kind of revealing a little secret. The way we kind of get thrilling battles is by pushing you to the edge of death, but not actually killing you. So he's going to do that on one character and do a magic boosting.
Brand new idea with our latest patch.
Right. That was actually Ty suggested that. That was really a good thing.
Yeah, brilliant.
This guy's weak to
Really?
lightning and chakra. I'm gonna open up with a Psy Blast, which is gonna expend all of Curtis's AP into 1 damage. So I have 100 AP right now. What I should have done is given him the Wraith Band, but I messed up. It's okay. Because then he would do more damage. But this will be fun. I'm gonna rally Azzy. She's gonna get 2 lightnings. This will probably do about 700 damage. Oh,
Yeah.
1600. Never mind.
Ty pointing out the like whole concept of the battles operating in that way. That was the perfect way to equalize our own internal debates.
Yeah.
And he solved it for both of us right then and there.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know what? We've been trying that the whole time and just didn't even realize it. So having extra teammates with a good perspective.
Yeah,
Helps
'cause
a
sometimes
lot.
I'll see things that you're missing. That's another
Right.
great thing about just having people test your game. Because it's really easy as developers to just know everything and also not know everything at the same time.
Yeah.
And about a week before release, I was on a gig, and the saxophone player in town, Barry Caudill, who works for Firaxis Games, the guys who make Civilization, he gave me a really interesting piece of advice. He said something to the effect of like, you know, just be cautious because games are never hard enough for the developers because you know everything. And then he also said, watch other people play your game because you're going to see problems that you had no idea existed. And so actually being at those conferences, you notice a lot. I think next turn he's going to do another thing, but I almost got him. I kind of want to see if he does. What those
Yeah,
like
Oh,
eight?
go ahead.
What's that? Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was saying what those HP attacks tend to do is, if you don't know that they're like a percentage, it will really freak you out. Later, the next boss in the game really has that concept too. I'm just gonna finish him off.
The next boss is Golem, right? And this is the new iteration of
Yes.
Marega.
Yeah. His attune got a little buff,
Yeah.
and he does that.
Fun fact: Marega is named after a city in California, just east of Oakland. I drove past it on the freeway to go to this disc golf course, and there were 2 cities. I forget the other one, but it had some other sort of fantasy sounding name, and then Marega was the other one, and I was like, those are like fantasy sounds. I gotta use them somewhere. And originally, I wanted them to be hitting dwarf villages in like an undercave area. That's how I like pictured them.
Nice. Yeah, I like the names of the guardians. There's Vasky, and then Moraga, and then Adhain.
Adhane and Vaskia, I do believe, are Norse, or not Norse. Well, maybe they are Norse. I think there is some sort of like Northern European language. One means earth, the other means fire.
Oh, nice.
But I had this like game concept a long time ago with 4 races, and there was Adhane, which was fire, Talam, which was earth, Fjord, which was water, and then Lusbar, which was air. And so carried over a little bit of that.
Nice. So this is another example of like after a long string of dungeoning, which the Water Garden is definitely the longest dungeon to this point in the game.
Yeah, Keith, Arinda, that's the other one. That's the one that definitely made me think of dwarves. It sounded totally like some magic dwarf forging place.
Nice. Yeah. Anyway, this cutscene's sort of breaking a lot of the puzzles and battles, and getting a little background. This is the first time we find out how the Tangle started, which has been kind of a mystery that hasn't really been brought up too much since the beginning of the game. This is kind of one of the bigger reveals of the game, and I like how this scene came out. I think little simple things I think can add a lot of flavor to your stuff. So like just a little like glows on those fires and a little like red tint overlay. I'm not exactly sure how we did that. Maybe talk about it, but
yeah,
adds a lot, I think.
You dominated this scene. All the scenes, almost all the scenes. I think you did, didn't you?
I did this one for sure, yeah.
But you did a ton of scene work and got the timings perfect and all that. As far as the glows, we have a pretty like good overlay system with the Impact engine. I'm not sure if it came with it or if Ty gave us something to work with, like a plugin. But it basically gave us all the same sort of overlay functions as Photoshop gives. And so, since I like work with Photoshop every day, I knew how to like make these sort of effects pretty easily.
Yeah. Got a lot of mileage out of simple stuff too, which is really nice.
Right. But I do believe that the overlays, without them, our game would look 10 times more generic.
Yeah. Yeah. Little things go
Like
a long way.
the Water Garden, for example, wouldn't be nearly as like gorgeous or magical.
Yeah, without that little like opaque, very subtle overlay.
Right. Which you can see here. It's actually got light beams and things like that. I think I took a photo of like, you know, like those big blue shots of the ocean where they're like deep blue and you see light rays piercing through.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the overlay here is.
Nice.
Which you'd never know.
Yeah.
But I bet you on a subconscious level people pick that up.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like there's a little bit of a sun glare, like it's like the sun's just rising over the mountain or something. I don't know.
Yep.
But anyway, basically what's happening in the plot now is they figured out that yeah, Dorothy, you can go back to Brashear and get it. You could go back, yeah. It's not missable. Greedy Gauntlet. But basically, we found out that the book that they found in the Tangle, as he actually got it, Orazio sort of gave it to her in a psychic vision, I suppose. And she threw it out to the valley, and it's this evil wraith book, and it caused the Tangle to form. Now they're talking about going to the Magma Sanctum. We're going to go back to the swamp. Look at that, we're back on the world map because we're nice. We're not going to make you backtrack, because that's stupid. So this next...
Also, those villagers were right, man. Ozzy was at the root of it all.
Yeah, it's true, but kind of a...
should persecute her.
They were right and wrong at the same time.
It's true. They should have persecuted their hero.
Yeah. So this is a part where we had to backtrack to the swamp a little bit, and we needed a way to get to show the player where to go. So because our friend the Wraithling was such a hit, we brought him back for this little scene.
True.
And I cannot believe that people like this character. I mean, I like the character personally, but like with the weird like gibberish way he speaks and stuff, you just think that would be right for like Internet Ape. Ooh, I smell something yummy. But
Yeah,
he's,
I wonder how much the dialogue plays into that. You know, that's not something I've kind of considered, but kind of not. I wonder if it's the visual of it, the like weirdness of its dialogue, or a combination of both. It's got to be both, right?
I think it's a little bit of everything. Yeah, it's kind of the teddy bear effect, right? It's the Ewok effect, the
Yeah.
Moogle effect. You know, everyone likes the Moogle.
True. Because I remember when I first read the dialogue, I was like, oh my god, this is just hamming it up so hardcore.
Right.
But it's grown on me, especially when GSD Boxer did his voiceover of it.
Yeah, and he puts like a
Gives
little
it
filter
gives
on.
it a new life.
Yeah. So this scene, like, it's always so weird which scenes were like really hard to make, and for some reason, this scene, for logistical reasons, was like insanely hard to do. I had to do so many like hacky sort of things to make this work, and I don't know why. But like that animation and like the gravestone going away, it's like all sorts of messed up in our map editor.
It's great though.
Yeah, I like how.
Just
Curtis is
roundhouse
much-
the gravestone.
Yeah. Curtis is definitely one of my favorite characters in the story, just because he has a really great backstory, which we're actually about to find out a little bit more about.
True.
But at this point in the game, you're just kind of like wondering why he's there and what's his deal. So here's our bumbling idiots again.
Yeah. Somehow with the campy dialogue out of the other characters, he becomes more relatable, I think.
Curtis.
Because he's just not having anything of it.
Yeah, he's kind of the straight
Pretty
man
much ever.
in the.
I wonder if that just like embodies Luke's feelings about writing some of the story.
Who knows? You know, the way I saw it was like, it was pretty obvious from the beginning that the story was going to be pretty lighthearted and straight ahead. And so Curtis was sort of like the mysterious, like loner type guy. So he sort of tinged that with a little hint of like sarcasm and glibness.
Did you mention ever what Curtis originally was?
It was like an old white dude with a beard, looked like Santa Claus.
Yeah, he was like the yokel miner from Gravity Falls. If you've ever seen that, or anyone here.
Yeah.
But otherwise, there's like the miner from The Simpsons. He's like, yeah, and then I'm digging for gold. He was straight up. He was like toothless too.
Yeah. That's very funny.
I was like, oh my god, what is this dude? I think that was one of the very first things I did for this game, was like, this guy's gotta go.
Yeah, we had a buddy, an old friend of mine who I knew from college, who was like kind of helping us with some art, and it was, you know, he had some good intuition, but there were some technical issues, and he did a couple face sets, and the face that he did of Curtis was pretty funny. Also, shout out to that awesome dodge animation where he's like basically pulling off like a ballet move or a figure skater move.
Serious. That's our monster designer too. Mossy Edge, that's his name.
Actually getting pretty good RNG on this fight. No, there's a stat spec, never mind. Okay. But this is going swimmingly. I've seen this fight go terrible for Dolwolf a couple times. It's really funny.
Yeah. Headbanger used to be an AoE move too.
Oh, really?
Pretty sure you're the one who put a kaput on that one.
Yeah, that would be frustrating.
Because not only was it an AoE move, but I think it was like 80% chance to berserk.
Oh, yeah.
So the people would just be, or anyone playing would sit there and watch.
Yeah,
for 4
and he
turns
would
as their
like
team
blur
dies.
himself, so he couldn't do anything. Yeah,
Right. So you just miss. Yeah, Zach would headbanger, Nick would blur. Your party would be useless for 4 turns and get counterattacked by Nick. And then you're dead.
Well, he kind of did an AoE thing there, but that's his
There it
desperation.
is.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we brought it back, which is just something manageable.
Oh, there we go. 999, nice. Okay, I'll throw a ninja star at him. Sure. All right, we're all good to go. All right, and he's done. Let's see if I can get a freeze on him. A Side Blast. I'll do a hat trick. Right after this battle, I'm gonna take a short little restroom break.
Yeah, same actually. I was literally just thinking about that. I didn't want to miss it though.
Yeah, alright, I'm gonna be back in like, let me set my little, getting like super Twitch savvy. I gotta like a
Yeah,
be right back
really.
screen now. Check that out.
But we'll
Alright.
play some music. I can't actually listen to music because it has like a delay.
Yeah, I'll just play the passageway music. Enjoy. Alright, I'll be back in like... Alright. I'm back. Alright. There, Tim. Alright. So I hope everyone's having a good time. This is, I post all those little handy commands. Get some more info and everything. While we're waiting for Tim to get back, remember, if you haven't picked up the game, which I'm pretty sure everyone in chat has, but if for some reason you're lurking and you're thinking, this game looks super cool, you really want to get it, you should, because it's like 50% off right now. It's freaking steal. You get the game and DLC for under 10 bucks. And, you know, as independent developers, you know, we can use all the sales we get. I need some new shoes, so you want to buy another copy of the game? One step closer to getting a new pair of shoes. Alright, I'm kidding, but I'm not. Just gonna go ahead. Hold on a second. Let me post one more little link in the chat. So, we're trying to build our Discord channel. So, if you guys are into that, there's the link there. I usually, like, if there's gonna be any changes to the game or any new updates, that's usually the first place I'm gonna post it. There's also a section for like speedrun routing. So if any of you guys are interested in learning the speedrun in Shadows of Adam, we talk about that there. There's 2 runners currently: DoeWolf, who's going to RPG Limit Break, and Andrew Boss K. Boss X, something like that. He runs this game a little bit. He has a shorter version of the game. So. Okay. Let's see. Make sure I have 2. So this scene, excuse me, excuse me, this scene right here was incredibly difficult to make. As you can see, there's just like so many freaking like sprites on the screen, and yeah, this was one of the more challenging scenes I had to do. In fact, I remember doing a couple drafts of this, and Tim gave me some good feedback for improvements. It's another example of like making a lot out of a little. So there's like just very minor things we add to the scene to help it come to life. Excuse me. So throughout the game, you're gonna see lots of like times where like rocks collide or collapse. Basically, just reusing like 1 or 2 different animations. You're gonna see like spots where the screen shakes. You get a little bit of that. That helps build drama. You're gonna see like little holes pop up. We pretty much have one graphic per hole that we use throughout the entire game. When you're independent, you know, you try to be smart with everything you have and reuse smartly. So, let's see what happens with the scene. Little poses we got from Malville are really fun, where he puts a cape over him. Reminds me a little bit of Magus from Chrono Trigger. We did the cape swipe, except he's a little more comical. Magus. The Magus or Magus? If Patrick's in the chat, he'll tell me, but I think it's Magus. I want to do the scene without Tim, so I'm trying to think of more things to talk about. One second. So yeah, basically at this point in the story, we've sort of made it to the other continent, but Malville's been hot on our tail the whole time, so he's finally found us again. He's sort of obsessed with Azrael, as she can use magic and to be able to use magic. So, he's sort of obsessed with magic. And she's not having it. Hit one more forward, it starts the scene, so I'm gonna wait for. Hold on a second. Okay, for the interest of time, I'm just going to go ahead and keep moving forward because I want to get through this next dungeon before 10 o'clock. Okay, so as he's not having any yet. So this scene took a long time to make. Curtis. Alright, now we're going to begin a little interactive flashback, which are kind of staples of the JRPG. Alright, now we're going to begin a little interactive flashback. Oh, looks like I'm feeding back on Tim's headphones. Looks like I'm feeding back on Tim's. This is Baby Curtis. Okay, so we're in this little flashback, and there's these treasures you can open, but I would recommend not opening them at this point. They're marginally okay items, like a couple potions, ethers, stuff like that. This guy has a very cryptic message. I had this chest in the family for years, but my grandfather warned me to never open it. Not sure what's in it, but it radiates a dark energy. You can have it if you want it, but I'm gonna leave it alone for now. There's a lot of like flavor, lore, and good NPCs in this place, but for now I'm just gonna keep moving forward because I want to make sure I get this next dungeon. Before we go up here, we're gonna talk to this guy. This guy's basically going to... He's like building magic crystals, and he's near the Wraith crystal, so he's getting all the magic from it. But magic's not allowed to be practiced by men in this society. Get a little scared about it and offer to give it to Curtis to hide. Do I take the ring or do I not? So, if you take the ring now, you're going to get the Wraith ring, which gives you 50 additional AP, which is good. But I'm gonna say no, because when I return to this place later, it's going to turn into the Wraith bracelet. It's going to sit near the Wraith crystal for all these years. It's going to evolve. It's going to become the Wraith bracelet. Give me 100 AP. Okay, so for So, I think I made most of the scene, but then Luke went through and just added a few like staging things, so the characters move back and forth, and make it interesting. There's not a lot of whole action in this scene; it's mostly dialogue and lore. Basically, they need Curtis to protect the Wraith Crystal because he's really good, and he will suplex anyone who comes near. Actually, someone equated Curtis to being Knuckles. If I knew a little bit about Sonic lore, but I guess Knuckles like guards the crystal. Or I don't know if Luke planned that out, but it's kind of fun. So I remember doing this whole sequence of scenes, which are pretty much going to be like 5 or 6 scenes in succession, and this was like one of the hardest things I had to do, just figuring out how to do the map transition, scene triggers, and such. But I remember when I got this done, it was really nice. And as you go through development, you're gonna like temp out a lot of stuff. So a lot of these scenes didn't even have full animations and such. So I remember the scene that have the pickaxe animations, but you know, this was like added very late in development. Tim just sort of cranking these little. This was like added very late in sort of cranking these little. And Curtis got smashed by rocks. Got smashed by. He's got this nice big scar on his face now. Which if you look in his face set, That's where he gets it from. And men are not supposed to use me. This is bad. Men are not supposed to use me. I remember this scene being really particularly hard to frame because I had to be able to show him and the priestesses. And then, depending on who was talking, I had to move the message box either up or down. So, yeah, when Roan talks, it's down so you can see him. He sinks back, puts his head down. Very Final Fantasy IV-esque kind of. Sinks back, puts his head down. Very Final Fantasy IV-esque kind of.
Alright, I'm back.
So did.
Not much.
Yeah, sorry for going ahead. I just want to make sure I get through the passageway before 10.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Sorry for going ahead. Thanks, Firesoul. Yeah, I was particularly happy how this sequence came out. It was a really hard scene to make, like I was mentioning, because it's consecutive scenes. And I remember, like, kept reading the script and kept seeing the tasks I had to do and just being like, oh my god, I can't even, like, imagine having to do this. But I just chipped away at it and I got it done. And it was just a lot of testing back and forth, making sure the pacing was good. And, oh man, very challenging scene to do. But it came out well.
It was also one of the most mind-blowing points of the game.
Yeah.
Or it probably is the most mind-blowing point of the game.
Right.
The way the delivery is just excellent, script-wise and everything leading up to it.
Yeah. Roan, his character is built on not having the power to change things he wants to, and he just revealed that he's Orazio. I don't know. It probably took me a handful of hours. Probably sat down for 3, 4, 5 hours, something like that to do. And then, like I was mentioning earlier, there was a lot of temp, so a lot of the animations, like a lot of these sprite poses you're saying, when you're doing alpha builds, you like do with as little as possible, and then you just sort of add them in later. So like I remember, kind of after we had spent all our Kickstarter money and we're getting close, like Tim would just knock out the additional sprite poses we needed. So it's just kind of going through the script, and Luke was very good about like really notating on the script what we need, like the minimum amount of assets we need, and we try to be smart about reusing them. But okay, we need Baby Curtis pickaxing, so give me 2 frames of him going up and down. Okay, I need Baby Curtis after he's got hit with the rocks. It was fun. It's always so fun when you make these scenes and you don't have the animations, just have the text boxes, and you start adding slowly these extra little layers of polish, and the scene really starts coming along and really starts becoming emotional. That's one of the things about game development that can be very, very fun and inspiring, I think.
Yeah, definitely. One of my greatest accomplishments was the parallax background showing this area at the start of the passageway.
All right, yeah. I didn't really show that off. Sorry, but that's.
No, that's all right. No, I didn't even think about it. I was there when it was going down. That's like right before the Zack and Nick fight.
Right. I think there'll be another part in the game where we'll see something like that.
Yeah. On the way to the Mystic Cavern, you get to relive it all again.
That's right. Yeah, it's kind of like that philosophy of just making a lot with little. Like, there's a great scene earlier in the game when you come out of the Misty Woods, and there's that pan of the of Jordora, and I think it's just achieved with like 3 parallax backgrounds all scrolling at a different. I don't know why I did double up. This is not going to do anything.
That's again work of our monster artist. Was the whole Jordora pan scene?
Right.
But stuff like that, we definitely front-loaded the game with more of that.
Yeah, like with the fish and the birds. That was intentional because early on a design decision was to like really make sure the first hour was really impressive, because I think we had decided that was right when Steam sort of came out with their new refund policy.
Yeah, 2 hours. You have to play the game less than 2 hours in order to refund it. So we're like, you know what? We're gonna make these like 2 hours so great you're never gonna want to stop until you get past it.
Right. And that was a part of like when I talked about the cold open and like having the Tangle jump right into the action. And when did you come up with the storyline? Did you have Orazio Curtis's history plan from the beginning, or develop as you build Curtis's background? So, the story was kind of interesting in the way it happened. So basically, when me and Josh started the project, we sort of just had like a basic plot beats. And it wasn't even like plot beats, it was more just like, there's going to be a swamp, water plates. It's very generic. We had a few characters and some basic characterization of them, and Luke basically just went with that and stuck close to our plot beats, our location beats, and fleshed out this whole thing with Orazio and Curtis being part of this ancient civilization. And I remember reading the script and was really impressed about how we took our basic bare bones idea and really fleshed it out. Maybe in a future project, it would be probably more advantageous to like just let a guy like Luke just have complete freedom from the beginning. But in some respects, working with constraints can make you creative too.
Yeah, he did work, man.
What's that?
I said he did work, man.
I remember because we originally hired him as like a contractor. And we just paid him a couple bucks and said, write a script. Here's the outline. And like a month later, we had a whole script. And I remember reading that script, and I was just like, holy crap, this is going to be so awesome when we can make this. Like, we don't have any of these graphics, we don't have any of these scenes done, but like, we could like, the script was so clean. Like, we told them from the beginning, we want a game that's like simple, done well. We want a very lighthearted, character-driven story, and we, just show, not tell. And so I'm even just reading the script, I could like visualize what the scenes would look like,
Yeah.
It was very exciting. I'd have to ask Luke about how his process. I'm sure he went through a lot of drafts. He's a pretty meticulous kind of guy. I'm actually going to restart the game real fast. I'm starting to see some dips on my end, so hold on 1 second.
Yeah, you blanked out for whatever you just said right before.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure Luke went through different drafts and stuff. All right, am I back?
Yeah, but he pretty much showed us the final result though.
Yeah. So this minecart thing is really cool. I think Luke's earlier RPG Maker game, The Way, had a lot of minecarts, so I guess he's sort of infamous amongst his fans for minecarts.
Yeah,
but
he had an insane minecart puzzle where you have to walk with the cart and flip the switches live.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I recently watched a Let's Play of his game.
Did you also tell him 4 characters max? Yeah, we always knew that it would be 4 characters. As far as like their personalities and stuff, they were very vague and like thinly constructed. Like, I think all I knew was that it would have to do with Kellen and his father having some sort of troubled relationship. In fact, I think my original conception of it would be like, there would be a lot more like the Tidus Jack thing in FF10. Actually, I want to show you guys this before. It's a little treasure over here. But yeah, we always knew it would be 4 characters. I think the least developed in my mind was probably Azrael and Talon. He ended up making Azrael a way bigger part of the story, where I would maybe argue that she's the main character of the story.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a good job with that.
Yeah, and like the kind of subplot where Orazio sort of adopted Azrael. I think, for my own headcanon, is that Orazio, even though he would never say it, he sort of felt a guilt about what happened to Solemn, and it was because of him that he was able to like save Azrael and sort of look after her, sort of like his own personal redemption, which ties it really into Curtis too, because Curtis feels a lot of guilt. He had like, you had one job, Curtis, and he failed. Curtis doesn't really talk about it, but he has a lot of guilt of it.
Right. In a lot of ways, it's a tale of redemption for all of them.
Yeah.
It's more subtle in your face though.
Yeah. Here's
goes with the whole show don't tell. Even in the story.
Yeah. You're right. We wanted this to just sort of be, I mean, yeah, great characters and a good story, but a big emphasis on the game was always just about like making it just a fun game that was like streamlined in a way that the old games that we love aren't. You know, being able to save anywhere, no random battles, not having the grind, stuff like that. And just sort of improving the experience for modern players who might be in their late 20s, early 30s, because I'm 30 years old, I think Tim are in their 30s. Josh and Ty are in their late 20s.
I'm gonna be 35 in June.
Oh wow, I didn't realize you were that much
old.
older than me.
Yeah, well, I remember that I was in high school and you were in middle school, and you were talking about, well, and then by the time it was like the end of our GW days, you were going to college for jazz.
That's right. Yeah, I was basically at Gaming World from 2000 to 2006. So, do I have any favorite characters? I like Curtis. He's my favorite character.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you on that one, but I also like Azrael, and there's a small place in my heart for Kellen. He's just like boneheaded, and
Yeah,
he just doesn't get it, man.
he's a bubba. Kellen's kind of a bubba, I think. You know, he's from this like small town, pretty
Wait, which
isolated.
character's Bubba?
Kellen.
What game, or what is a Bubba?
Oh, I guess it's more like a southern colloquialism, like a bubba, like a good old boy. You know?
Oh yeah,
A simple
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
guy. He's a good guy,
Right.
but he's a simple kind of guy. And that, you know, that's his charm. You know, he's unassuming. But I think deep down,
think it's-
Kellen has a lot of insecurity because, you know, Horazio is this like legendary character in the Adam folklore,
yeah. But he's clearly never gonna live up to that.
and also
But
his
he's
dad is
somehow managed.
abusive.
Yep, right. Makes it harder.
Oh crap! I like nothing. What is your favorite character, Fire Soul? I'm kind of curious what people think.
Right? Yeah, that's a good question. Let's throw it back on them.
I know it's like doing the scenes. My favorite character to do scenes for was definitely Curtis because he has some great moments, especially in the airship escape sequence. I remember having a lot of fun doing that scene, and Tim made some really fun poses for that.
Yeah, Curtis, I think, is the definitive favorite amongst most.
Well, it's-
The only other character that would probably get more cred is the Wraithling.
Yeah, people like the Wraithling.
But I mean, that's not a main character.
Or is it?
Could be. I still want to make that puzzle game.
Big ol'. I just want to make a
The
plushie.
Wraithling. Alright, well that first.
Oh, double bite's fine. Snow Devour. Okay, I think I got this guy now. It's gonna. Curtis also like has the most meme potential. All right, got the ice sword. It's gonna be nice for this next boss. So he's guarded by those like really tough guys, but you know what I haven't been doing is looking for the juices. I don't think there's any juices in the passageway. There might be a. What about your favorite dungeon? Visually, my favorite dungeon is probably the Tangle, just because it's so cool looking. Just like mechanically, I like the Water Garden a lot. I think the idea of the raising and lowering water was really neat, and the fact that we pulled it off was really cool. Because I distinctly remember that Slack meeting where Luke was proposing all these dungeon ideas, and we were kind of like auditing them to see if they were doable. And Josh, who's usually more of the pragmatic programmer of the two, said, "Yeah, I think I could do this," and he did it, and it was awesome, and it was great. I don't know. What do you think, Tim?
Well, let's see. I'm biased. I like the Mystic Cavern just because of the headache and the enemy AI.
Yeah,
I was able to like live out some of my dreams there. But outside of that, I think Tangle is definitely a very, very striking dungeon, and awesome to be the first one you end up in. I think it's got a ton of flavor.
Yeah, a lot of like the parallax layers that scroll at different times. The axes of like you know, you can walk under the bridges and stuff, and like the
Yeah.
things you can see in the distance. It's really, yeah. I was just so shocked when Luke like showed us that.
Yeah. I
Never-
think the.
Sorry.
Wait, go ahead.
No, I was saying, Luke never fails to surprise me. He would like make a new map. I'd always be like, "How do you do this?" I think he's just
Yeah.
like a planner.
Yeah. He's an awesome map designer. It was definitely of great value to bring him on as more than just a story writer.
Well, and the reason he did the maps is because our first intro of the game was so bad. And I'm always, and Tim can confirm this, I'm probably the more conservative member of the group in the fact that, like, when something's said, I don't like to change it for some reason. I'm getting, like, anxious about that stuff. And it was just a bad intro. Like, we had this whole courtyard dungeon. It was kind of lame. The plot didn't make any sense. And Luke finally said, he kind of wrote the script around it, and it just wasn't working. He said, look, we got to change this. And if we do, I'll be willing to redo the map myself. And that was kind of the start of it.
Yeah.
Luke realized that if he didn't, like, he was like, trust, like, don't worry, Tyler, I'll do the whole map. I promise. And then he did. And then it was like, hey, by the way, we have this, like, Misty Woods, and we could, like, he could use a touch up, and he redid the Misty Woods, and then from then on, he just did all the dungeons from, like, the swamp onwards.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when I look at all the awesome parts of this game, like the graphics and the map work and the dungeon design, I realize I had very little to do with any of that. So it makes me think, I'm just lucky to be a part of this team.
Yeah. Hey, you're kind of breaking up every, like, 2 sentences.
Oh, my mic, you mean?
Uh-huh.
Okay, hold on a second. Make sure everything's cool. Move it a little closer. Is it like just,
I'm not sure what it is. It might be like if it's auto picking up and it's too far away and it's not picking up your voice in time. I'm not sure.
Okay, just let me know. I moved it a little closer. I have a compressor on. I think that would help to kind of minimize the dB. Sounds clear. Maybe it might be your connection, the guy in the chat saying so.
Okay. Yeah, it could be mine. I mean,
just let me know.
I wanted to install a bunch of RAM in my computer, but I can't.
Right.
Amazon, even though I've got Prime now for like the 30-day trial and it's gets me 2-day shipping, I went to order some RAM today and they said it'll be here on the 26th
Oh, okay.
or 27th, and that's when I fly out.
Oh, man.
So I don't know how 2 days equals 7, but I'm just gonna wait till I get home.
Yeah.
Either
Well-
that or I have to take a cab for 5 miles. That sounds like a double cost RAM.
Right. Well, when we went to MagFest and I ordered that shipment of business cards to save the company money, I ordered like the slowest shipping possible. I ordered like 2 weeks shipping, saved like $10, and then I got the cards 2 days later.
Huh. Yeah. Visa Print's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Alright, it's pretty solid. I don't remember.
I've never had problems with them.
I didn't
They've
do
been
this
around
one.
for like 10 years too. This is a kind of tough one for some people.
Yeah, I don't remember the solution. I think I have to go back and
You
up
did it
first.
wrong.
Back and up first. Yeah, one thing I also like that I'm always happy is that the nickname Azzy really stuck. I know, like, when I watch a lot of LPs and stuff, they always call her Azzy, and it's kind of a cute little nickname.
Yeah, I use it in the guide so much just to save space.
No, you go back first. No, you go up first. That's it.
I think it's down, left, up, right.
Oh, really? Down, left, up, right.
I think.
Eve, man, don't give me crap. I'm doing the best I can here. I think it's left.
It might be like left down, left up, right, or something. But I mean, you gotta circle it back right to the one up and to the right.
This is embarrassing.
You gotta like hit one of the ones on the far right by hitting it from the left to the right.
Yeah. I think I gotta get here. I figured out how to get there.
It's that one up here. Correct.
Okay, how do I get up there? Up here, boom, there, and then that will go down and hit nothing. Okay, that's not it. But if I do that, that goes... Nope. I think I gotta go. No, I think I know what I gotta do. I think it's gotta do something with this, right?
This is where you need gambling bots.
Wait, no, come on. Wait. This is ridiculous. No, I know what I'm doing wrong. It's this.
You definitely have to hit the upright one from the right. That's the solution.
Up. Dude, do you have the strategy guide done on this page yet? I need to see it.
No.
Hurry up and finish the strategy guide. Oh my god, this is embarrassing.
To be honest,
Wait.
I was like watching because you were at the part that I was on, and basically, however long it takes you to play through a section is about how long it takes me to write the guide section of it.
Gotcha. Okay, hold on.
I can bust out like the GSD boxer stream.
Yeah, okay. I already tried that. That doesn't do anything. Okay, right. Sorry, folks. What time is it? We still got 43 minutes. I was hoping to get. I can probably get through a little bit of the Magma Sanctum. Oh, this is it. I did it. Okay.
Good job. Good job.
What's up, Final Boss Blues? Oh no! That wasn't right! Wait.
Oh.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna look up the solution real fast. Eric,
You gotta hit.
Eric's Crusade, man. Where's your, you gotta show me the LP of this. I'm looking this up on my phone. This is embarrassing.
It should be in the player's guide, right? Do we have like the puzzle solution section
Oh
in the
yeah,
guide?
we do. Actually, hold on. I'll check that. Let me see real fast.
Puzzle solutions. It's in a weird PowerPoint file. I don't even have anything to open PowerPoints.
Okay. Hold on a second.
That's gonna be tough.
Speaking of which, this is probably my least favorite piece of music I wrote for the entire game. Every time I hear it, it makes me think, God, I really need to rewrite the song. It's just like too short. I meant to add another section, it didn't work, and I don't know. What do you guys think about this piece? I'm not like fishing for compliments, but I'm honestly curious what you guys think of this one. It's probably my least favorite thing in the whole. I'm not like fishing. Puzzle Solutions. SOA Puzzle Solutions. I like this. This is looking promising. Puzzle Solutions. SOA Puzzle. Like that. Okay. Down, left, down. Oh, it's really easy.
Of course it is.
I hate you, Luke. Fun fact, in the Magma Sanctum, I couldn't figure out the puzzle, so I moved the the flames in the map editor so I could keep testing. Left, down, right, up. Left, down, right, up. And then I think I go right again. And then I go down. And then I go left. God dang it.
As for this song, I like the synths in it. I think
Oh, this
the synths are good. The piano is a bit. It sort of works on you because it is a short song.
Yeah, I might
But
just
the
maybe one.
synths
Yeah,
bring it
maybe
up.
one day I'll add another section or something, like a little less with the arpeggio, the harp thing.
Yeah.
But
Oh, it's a harp. All right.
yeah, it's supposed to be harp.
It sounds like piano keys. Maybe
Yeah,
that's half
it's
your
similar.
problem.
Yeah. I recently bought like a $600 sample library, so like all my sounds are like really nice now. Once I bought it, I was like, man, I should redo the entire soundtrack. But then I thought about how much work that would be, and then I was like, people seem to like it enough. Of any musical product that I've ever put out in my life, I've sold more copies of the Shadows of Adam soundtrack, like by 100-fold, than anything else. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it doesn't do too bad with our bundles. I think it sells like 1 in 4, 1 in 5 with the game itself.
Yeah. So thank you if you bought it. Appreciate it. Little shameless plug, but if you guys like big band jazz, look up the Tyler Mirror Big Band. It's MIRE. Actually, Tim's got some hand in some of that stuff too, because
True.
I think he
I'll
did.
find the link.
He did the liner notes for my last 2 records, and then he did the cover for this last one, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Alright.
See. I'm
Almost.
gonna
What's up?
I'm gonna plug you.
Yeah,
I'll
please.
plug you.
I
Where do you want? SoundCloud or
here. Or you could plug. Yeah, SoundCloud's fine. Or you could
I do
see.
your
Or see.
site, but it doesn't go directly to it. It just gives me a link to the SoundCloud.
Yeah, you can go to SoundCloud. It's fine. Plus some new game music I wrote too.
True.
Yeah, you can post links. So now I had to disable the Nightbot. I didn't realize that it did that. And then the other night,
He's not gonna sabotage you.
all right, almost at the end of this dungeon. You get to see a little bit of this new boss. I know the strat. I could probably take him out pretty easily still, but I'll let you guys see.
Set him up for his big.
Yeah, I'll let you guys see, and then I'll explain what happened later. It's very terrifying actually when you see it, but when I'll tell you the secret about it. It's part of. Oh, you'll just see. I'm gonna fight the boss before, and then maybe what I'll do is, what time is it? 9:12. I'll beat the boss to maybe go to the guild, see if I can do another battle arena, and then maybe start a little bit of the Magma Sanctum, and that'll probably be all I have time for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night at 7. I think Thursday Josh said he's going to try to join. Josh, one of our programmers, he's actually a very funny guy, so hopefully he can join. I enjoy talking with him a lot.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, maybe if we could try to get 3 of us.
I'll join tomorrow.
What's that?
I'll join tomorrow, and I'll join the rest of the days pretty much.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it'd be cool if we could get like 3 or 4 of us.
The only thing I'm not doing is the player's guide, but I don't mind. I don't mind the break.
Yeah.
I've been working my ass off like 15-hour days. So I've got like 3 projects, even though I've the monster artist working on 2 of them. Monster artist for this game working on 2 of the projects for me. So I really only have 1, but they've got a big publisher push coming up.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, like all this free time I thought I had, not even.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's whatever. You just deal with the cards that are dealt you.
Take the work when you can get it.
Yeah.
You know, when I was freelance, I remember it'd be like, there'd be times where there's just so much work you couldn't do it all, and then times where you're just hoping for the work.
Well, my hope is that I can just like keep stacking them on, and if I overload the other artists, I'll get another one and just keep stacking products. But right now, I'm afraid to take on any more, because to do so, I usually have to do some work myself, at least at first, and then convince them that, hey, for a small discount, I'll have someone else do my work for me.
Right.
But so far it's worked. And I've had 2 long-term projects that I've been able to like hand off to somebody else. Yeah. It's the new 5-year plan. You were talking about 5 years earlier and where we were at. I know 5 years ago my 5-year plan was wanting to establish a business for myself, whatever it might be. And so it's pretty much developed to what it is now. But
Impressive.
you're right about the freelance life too. It's like you never know like when it's gonna pay off and when it's not. So
Okay.
I really want to just like keep pushing out games.
Right. It's fun.
And have that catalog so I can afford to have downtime, you know?
Right. Passive income. Making that
Right.
indie bucks. Indie bucks. Those indie dollars, dog.
Right. I mean, I have to live somewhere subsidized like Alaska if I really want to like live off of that, but
Yeah, coming from the freelance musician to my gig now with the Navy, it's pretty interesting. And it's weird because as a creative person, it's like you sort of like thrive on that like the gig mentality. At least I sort of did. But part of it got kind of old. But then when you were working a lot and you felt like super valued and you felt like super sharp with your craft because you were like using it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean that was what it was like for me when I went from freelance to working at Zynga.
Yeah.
And And you're there for 4 years, right? Pretty much, or is it
Yeah,
like
I mean,
two?
my enlistment's 4 years, yeah.
Okay, so when I went there, I like have always had this mentality. I don't want to work for the man. So when I found out that the indie company that was pretty much had me hired for the past 2 or 3 years was getting bought out by Zynga, and I researched them, I was like, this is horrible. I do not want this. I was like, you know what? This is my 4 year plan. It's going to become basically my college degree.
There you
And
go. That's smart.
I mean, it works. People are impressed enough.
Yeah. And different
And I
paths.
learned a shit ton.
Yeah. Nice time. So this is the golem. So he's got a few little tweaks in this last patch. We kind of beefed him up a little bit. So he's pretty much impervious to physical attacks. Not going to do very much. Except Helen, because he's got the ice sword.
I feel like this is the boss that's gone through more iterations than any.
Yeah.
And it's still so disheartening to watch Dowolf or some speedrunner fight him.
Yeah. That's the thing, though, man. Those guys, like, figure out... Like, I was watching a Final Fantasy V runner today, and he's just, like, beating every boss in 2 turns. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so basically the strat here is that he's going to counterattack if I cast Blizzard on him. So I'm going to have Azzy do that. He's going to do a counterattack that's going to kill her if it hits. I'm going to blur Azzy and hope that she dodges. Oh, nice. Alright, so I'm going to just go ahead and do that. And then when he's weak, I'll show you his desperation form. There's another strat which you can taunt him, and he'll just attack Kellen instead. It's a weaker version of it. But... Oh, she got hit. Oh, she didn't die. Wow. Nice. Must be so over-leveled that I've never seen that happen, ever.
Barely. She barely survived, at least.
Yeah, and that's not like an HP thing. It's like, it's going...
Used attack.
Okay. So he's probably close to his new form. Oh, nice. The dodge. Okay. Let's go ahead. I guess I'll do... Oh, wait, I don't do that. I'll kill him. I want to show off his new thing. Just attack him. Oh, she's got... I was like wondering why that didn't hit. It's because she's got the lightning staff. Alright, so he's going to buff up. And he's going to do this awesome spell we just added. Holy shit, that's some big damage. And stunned. So... that can't actually kill you. That's only going to do, I think, 90% HP. But it's just giving the illusion of some serious shit just happened. And also, the stun that he inflicts, I think it was like an 80% chance of stun. Yeah. It's going to go away the next round.
I think it's 60.
60? Something like, yeah.
60.
Okay, yeah. So it's significant. We got 3 stuns. Hits you all in the critical and it stuns you, most of them. And that's going to wear off next turn. So you might be freaking out at this point, because you only have Curtis next. But his AI is only going to let him do a defense up in this next move. It's one of those things that makes the battle feel really thrilling and exciting, without actually like being a cheap thing where you can't recover from. Makes it fun. Oh yes. Should be it. Oh, it's not great.
Doom dice.
Oh, see how much more damage he did? That attack up like pretty much doubles his damage output. In fact, I might just show you around where I'm just attacking, so to see what his damage output is.
Yeah, just don't wipe yourself out.
I won't. That AoE was decent, but I think his physical attack is going to be pretty gnarly. His physical attack will kill you. So let's go ahead and bring her back to life. So the way Doom Dice works, I didn't really explain it, was 2 die are rolled, and the first die, I believe, is the attack power, and the second die is the amount of hits you get. So I think I got like a 2-5, well, 466, see, it's welled on me. So a power of 2 with 5 hits. Ideally, the best scenario is 2 6s. The worst scenario is Snake Eyes, not just for the reasons you would think. If you roll Snake Eyes, I believe the entire party gets poisoned.
Yeah, party poisons your party.
which I've only seen like once.
Yeah, it does not happen often.
It's funny because if you watch RPG Limit Break, when Wolf runs it, he's going to talk about Talon. He's going to talk a lot of shit about Talon. He's going to say, Talon is useless. I hate Talon. And he's going to talk about how he's never going to use Doom Dice ever. Because one time in a run, he used Doom Dice and he got Snake Eyes. But I'm always like, dude, Talon's good. So wait, I'm going to go see if I can beat this next tier. Let's see what time it is. We still got 40 minutes. And I don't know how you streamers do this, man. These 3-hour sessions. This is like an hour and a half is about as much video gaming as I could take in a day. But I'm fucking old, so.
I know. And all their fans are like, keep going, and spend like 12 hours. At that point, I wonder how the people watching can do it.
Dude, there's a guy who's actually a really he's the world record holder for Final Fantasy VIII 90%, and I watch his stream a lot. He's going to be at RPG Limit Break 2 running FF8, but he's doing a thing right now where he's trying to learn the speed run every single Final Fantasy game.
Wow.
And when he does, he's going to do it in one long stream.
Wow.
I'm like, you're going to be spending like 80 hours straight.
Dude,
Maybe he's taking breaks, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Hard to say. I know people in Asia and like Japan, they'll just play games till they die, literally.
It's funny.
So it's a culture thing.
Not the most healthy thing.
Well, no, you're dead.
Well, if you're meaning literally die, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, no, I mean it literally. Just like. But I mean, that's like an MMO or something like that.
Right. Remember, kids, when you're playing a PC game, press Alt F4 for secret Pokemon.
Right. Even something like Civilization, though. When I stopped playing it recently because I don't know, I got bored of it. I just kept doing the same run of the first 50 turns over and over again, trying to perfect it. And once I got pretty close to perfecting at least what I was striving for, it's just like, one, I don't want to play the rest of that, and two, I don't want to repeat this.
Right. Yeah.
But it's addicting. It was addicting all the same.
I got a
We
free.
still gotta duke it out though.
Yeah, I got a free copy of that game because I met the dev and he was really nice. So there's something kind of wonky I just noticed about Hat Trick. Like, if you kill an enemy, it doesn't retarget or something weird happened. I can't. Or it retargeted, but it showed the HP on the old enemy. Just noticed that.
I did the programming for this one, so.
Way to fuck it up, Tim. Way to go.
I know.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
I probably spent as much time as you did on the Erasio as a Roan scene, working on that skill.
Yeah.
And it was your idea, so.
I think it came off cool. It looks cool. I like when he does the 2 darts and then he spins and throws it. Reminds me of Setzer a lot.
Yeah.
Setzer, character-wise, probably isn't the coolest character, but I liked his look in battle. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
Dude, I got
I
4
agree.
or 5 burns. I like that upgrade to pick a card. I think it's at 65% burn, so that was pretty good.
It's awesome. It makes you feel good about pick a card.
Yeah.
And yeah, Eric, I totally relate. I'd start playing that game at 7 at night, and it'd be 3 a.m. And I'd maybe have played 4 games, 50 turns each, so 200 turns. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it sure adds up. But I think one of the worst things about Civ in general is that the longer the game goes on, the longer each turn takes. And you're just waiting for AI to generate their decisions.
You can't fast forward through that?
No, because it's literally they're running through the code to make it happen.
Wow.
Pretty much.
It seems like something they would have. That's a quality of life fix they would do.
No, it's been a problem in every single Civ game. So
Wow.
when the entire world is revealed and you have multiple AI people, it just drags on and on. There's usually equal amount of time between how long it takes you to act all of your like cities on your turn as it takes for the rest of the AI to act all of theirs. Not to mention any sort of interrupts where the AI is trying to interact with you.
Oh, it's Golem again. Nice.
So I mean, yeah, it's a major issue with the game, and it only expounds if you're playing with actual people.
Huh.
Because if you're playing with actual people and they have like 20 cities, imagine how long it would take them to run through every like minute detail of each one of those.
Right.
And if it's a competitive game and you're trying to like play it perfect and not mess something up, you're gonna want to make sure you're not like missing one loose end that's gonna screw you for the next 10 turns somehow.
Right.
So all of a sudden like you're waiting 20-30 minutes for somebody to go through their turn.
Oh gosh.
And what if you had a 5-player game? That's like an hour and a half per turn.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
So this isn't... I'm not doing too good in this battle, but I might be okay, because Kellen's got the Ice Sword, and I just got the Duplicator too. That's a decent roll. 4-2, so 2 hits. Okay. The nice thing about Doom Dice is that it ignores immunities, so it, like, doesn't seem to be affected by resistance or weaknesses. I think I've noticed, something I've noticed doing this game is that, in general, people are pretty risk-adverse. And in this game, especially where, like I mentioned last night, having forward presence is pretty important. You know, people are hesitant to take those chances with Talon, but I think Doom Dice is killing. But that's just me. This is not looking good, guy. I need the ice card. Pull the freaking ice card, dude. Please. Wraith is not amazing. Guys, I think I'm gonna lose.
No, you just beat this boss, dude.
I know, but it's not in a gauntlet. I got the save and add items and stuff. Stop pulling the lightning card, dude. That's like the only time I don't need it. Let's see, Psyblast. Ooh, look at that crit doing 26 damage. Ouch, this guy hits like a truck. Okay, I'm pulling for the ice card and a freeze. Or a fire card, do 20 damage. This is nice. I have played through the game with the Battle Arena, but it's been a while, and I'm enjoying this experience. It's like a nice challenge gauntlet. It seems just right. Like it's just at the edge of challenge for where you are in this story, I feel. See, look at that. Pick a card. I just did like 1,000 damage. Good. Alright, sorry, Doom Dice. Alright, here we go. Ice card. Oh, there we go. 400, not bad. Let's do that. Doom Dice. Pretty weak. This life force is really coming in handy for Curtis.
It's so good. Most enemies are balanced, I think, to deal around 20% of your hit points on average. So, or if not, then it's a single target, and it's probably 40% at most.
Right.
So the odds of getting hit with 2 single targets is less than the 40% you regen. So it pretty much ensures you survive, except for in rare scenarios.
This is kind of becoming a little bit of a drag, but oh wait, here's Doom Dice. Let's go, guys. Let's go. You notice he didn't do his desperation move. Wonder why that is.
Oh, really?
I think there's something in our AI that doesn't reset properly.
Wait, when did he go,
At least I don't remember him doing it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find custom stuffed animals. Seeing the price.
Alright, chat.
There's a lot of bad ones.
So I'm thinking I'm gonna spend these now. What do you guys think? I have all these juices. What should I use? The speed one, is like not as useful. I mean, if I wanted to maybe, so I could maybe like who would benefit from going first? Curtis or Azzy? Because they have tied speed. So maybe I feel like Azrael could benefit from.
What does she have now?
What's that?
Oh yeah, Azzy speed all the way.
I'm gonna give Azzy some speed.
Either that or Kellen for Rally. But Azzy with a high speed heal is probably pretty clutch.
Yeah, I got 5 spinaches. I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna give Curtis 2, Kellen 2, and then Talon 1. Defense. I think Azzy has the lowest. Azzy or Curtis? No, Curtis has the lowest defense, right? Azzy actually has higher defense now than Talon. Okay, let's see. So defense, I'm gonna give the Curtis all the way. Magic. Now, so for the people watching, Curtis's chakra abilities are affected by his magic stat. So having a good magic stat for Curtis is actually nice. His Spirit Punch can be really powerful in the late game. Though I would say in the late game, his attack stat kind of goes like this. So late game, his suplex becomes insane. So I'm gonna give. Let's see. I'll do 4 to Azzy, 3 to Curtis, and then 1 to Kellen. Okay. You know what? Let's see what time it is. We got 30 minutes. Okay, let's try one more tier, alright? I think this one actually starts with the golem, but he has like sidekicks this time. Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna just like wail on this guy. Apple. Cyberx. Up that. Also, Blizzard lowers magic defense, so it becomes cumulative on the golem. Each one's gonna do a little bit more. Oh yeah. Oh, she survived. Nice. Rally her, Blizzard, that, and then let's do a blur. Oh, look at that damage. Oh, look at that damage. And she dodged. Man, I'm so good at video games. That's how you do it, folks. Okay, you need to do that. Do a chi wave and you throw a high push on Azzy. It's kind of an interesting quality of life feature that Ty added in the battle system so that when you select an item or healing spell, it automatically targets the lowest HP. I'm not sure if it's...
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the person who has the lowest number HP or the lowest percent of their max HP. I think it's lowest percent. So like right now, if I go to high potion, it's automatically going to target Azzy. And I don't know how it works for status effects. It's one of those things that's like on the borderline if I like it or not. Sometimes it's useful, and then sometimes it's like questionable why it selects a certain thing. But I've never seen anyone complain about it, so.
No, I never even considered it. That's awesome though. So I looked up plushies and I couldn't even find a good one currently. But I know last time I tried finding one, it was like 150 to 200 for a good one. And this time I found some pretty poor quality ones for 120. And I should know because when I was in 10th grade, I made a stuffed animal for my girlfriend of Apple Kid from Earthbound.
Oh, nice.
And it was more like a pillow type one, you know, where you just like have the front and the back and sew it together.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like a stuffed shape of Apple Kid. But it had his face and all the right clothing and textures and all that. It was just not three-dimensional.
Hmm.
And then maybe a year later, I did a stuffed Tonberry, which is like perfect 3D recreation of a Tonberry with a hood and knife and everything. Like I actually had to learn how to sew a hoodie to
That's
make
cool.
this Tonberry and some other things. And that one was awesome, man. I don't think he has it anymore, but I'm still his friend. But that's the level, that's the bar that I'm setting at least.
Nice.
It's like you got to be able to like at least hit my 16-year-old Tonberry design.
Nice.
Which, to be fair, even the like officially licensed Final Fantasy Tonberry is probably on par with that one. Which is not to brag, it was just I worked my ass off to get it to that level.
Quicksilver. Oh, I didn't read your message, Eric. And Dorothy, put my life force thing on Azzy since Curtis has that ability that heals with damaging. Oh, Spirit Punch, right? Eric Crusade. I try to spread out my healing options so Azzy could spend more time melting faces. Makes sense. That's like the whole like debate on how to use Azzy, because Rejuvenate's pretty much going to be a full party heal. It's really powerful. It costs a lot, and it takes her away from, like you said, melting faces. Helen has kind of that cost-neutral heal, which is really nice. Well, I got the Quicksilver, too. Really nice. Alright, so got a little bit of time. I'll start a little bit of the Magma Sanctum. That was a passageway. It's kind of one of those, it's not a major dungeon, it's kind of one of those like in-between dungeons, but it came out pretty well. The minecarts are nice.
It's not major, but it feels long.
Yeah.
Mostly because of that one puzzle.
Yeah, that I couldn't figure out. I had to look up the strategy guide. So, you know, when the strategy guide comes out, guys, we'll be ready to help you. That was really embarrassing.
We've all been there. Except for maybe Luke.
So here's a little secret over here. So that's, I guess, one of the only examples of a purple chest you can't see. But it's It's not missable though. Fun fact, there's actually a rare item drop from Zach and Nick in the passageway. They have like a 15% chance to drop either ice darts or ice rod. And I know Dual Wolf gets them occasionally on his runs, and when he does, it's very, very helpful. Because then you could just be hat-tricking the golem. Okay, so I'm a little... Let's see, I'm pretty good on items. I don't need any of them right now. I don't need to rest. Alright. So I'm gonna get all the fire armor because it's gonna help for the next dungeon. Next dungeon is it's really a lot of damage over time kind of monsters. They're gonna cast a lot of like burn damage, and they're gonna be very tanky. So they're gonna last long and do like kind of trinkle damage. So it's very much an attrition type of dungeon. I feel like. I feel the passageway has a lot of like monsters that just really hit you hard, and like that big devourer guy, he just kind of wails on you. But Magma Sanctum's a little.
It is. It doesn't even like really strike you as anything, but in the big picture, it's definitely an attrition sort of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely like kind of a grind. It's very much the long game being played in the Magma Sanctum. A lot of RPGs nowadays have like the auto gen after every battle, so every battle becomes its own thing, which is cool. But our game still has a little bit of those elements of the long game, but I think with our AP system, it also encourages skill use instead of hoarding your mana. So there's a really funny treasure chest hidden over here, and there's a little bit of a story behind it. So when we were doing our final polish passes, and before release and all freaking about every little detail, we have this Trello board that we add little tasks for us to do, and Tim added this random task. It was add magic pie to Firmus. And so, wait, that wasn't it, shit. But it's so...
Yeah, I think it is. Oh, the chest.
It's this one right here, I think. Anyway, so there's these magic pies you can buy from a vendor in Jerdora. Just like the only really way to get some sort of ether, and they're frankly kind of overpriced, and I don't think they're ever really used that much. But anyway, there's just a magic pie here. So you can invent your own little head canon, maybe write some fan fiction about how that magic pie got there. If
Right.
you write a good story, we'll give you a Wraithling plushie. And if you write a good story and you
$100 value.
retweet us 1,000 times, we'll get you a Wraithling plushie. Or get that treasure chest in Jadora that I showed you last night. If you do any of those things, I'll give you a Wraithling.
We gotta get a visual concept of this thing and just start tweeting about it every day.
For all 10 of you that want one, we're thinking about it.
No way. I guarantee you it'll blow up, man.
Oh.
Everyone will want one. I wonder if this first puzzle, Luke's intention was to demonstrate that you can push an
Yeah.
orb over a gap.
I think it was that.
But
You do it early in the water guard.
unfortunately, right, and that one caught up a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, I always
Is
thought
it
that
like-
this was to show that the fire, that's how you get the fire things down.
Oh, yeah, true.
Like I talked about last night with the wind tower about theming. And so like a lot of these sorts of puzzles are very just basic lock and key, but they're themed to make sense with the particular area. This dungeon's actually kind of fun because it feels massive. Like you're climbing up these giant mountains and jumping off these huge cliffs. And yeah, I don't know, I've always liked this dungeon.
Yeah.
It's very massive.
Next time we should like have them like jumping off cliffs over huge distances, and then it smashes the screen, and then there are geysers of flames that erupt all around them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What if I come up with a story for the magic pie and have Azzy bash the slime train? Yeah, do it.
Yeah, then what? Do it. We need some fanfic. Post it in the Steam discussions. Is there a fanfic section on Steam for the game? I know there's images and videos, forum posts.
Got it. I got a lot of ice weapons somehow.
But I would say that you're in the running for the plushie then.
You did do that nice LP, and you know, that was nice of you, Eric.
Yeah.
I always enjoy watching that because, you know, when we started this game, I mean, besides Tim, who really had some industry experience, we were all just like hobbyists and lifelong lovers of games, and so like even make a game that even one person like plays and loves, it makes even a LP of it's really cool. I have a playlist on our YouTube channel where I just keep stock of all our LPs, and I think we're up to like 350 videos or something like that now.
That's awesome.
If we have an LP of our game in Portuguese and one that's being done currently in German. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm at my cousin's house in New York now, and she's always got people in and out. She works for the UN, you know, and right now there are some people from Albania, a woman and her son, and then her parents. And her parents only speak Italian and Albanian.
Oh, nice.
So I'm trying to learn a little Italian, but for now she's mostly just giving me coffee every day. The mom. It's how we bond, man.
Yeah, coffee.
Oh, yeah,
Europeans love coffee.
they do. It's the like cool Eastern
an
European
essence, by the
style
way.
coffee, where
Yeah.
they have like the pot on the stove and it's just a small pot, and then they dump grounds in it with water, and then it boils up into basically a thick espresso. So I don't even actually normally drink caffeine.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
don't-
it's made my mood pretty shitty because I don't, and now all of a sudden I need caffeine every day.
Right. Yeah, I don't do any caffeine. My wife drinks coffee every day, and she seems to like it. I think she just started recently, and like now she can't start her day without it.
Right.
I don't like being
exactly.
dependent on something.
No, exactly. That was my point, or that's what I like finally realized. I was like, why am I like grumpy every day around like kind of a certain amount of time? And then one day, like, I wasn't offered coffee as I normally was until like a little bit later in the day. And I was like, oh, I know I'm grumpy. I don't have coffee yet.
Right.
It's like, this is not me.
Yeah.
So wise.
So this dungeon is kind of just more iterations of the previous stuff. So you got the orb puzzles with a few new twists and these holes, which Eric called the troll hole. And,
Pretty much.
Yeah, this dungeon is really interesting. It's a lot different than the others. Like, can't quite put my finger on it. But here's a secret place. Like I said, I'm getting every single treasure chest in this game.
Yeah, this dungeon brings you back to this point pretty much until you get over halfway through it. It just forces you to keep revisiting this area.
Yeah, unless you don't fall. I mean, you could skip this whole bottom area if you know what you're doing.
I mean, good luck with that.
Yeah. Okay, there's actually a cut. So here's another cut feature we had. I don't even know if Tim remembers this, but we had like these heat rooms where you fell into this room and you had a timer that counted down, and when the timer ran out, you died or whatever, had to restart the level. So you had to like get through the room before you overheated, and you had to like push statues out of the way and stuff. It just, one, it wasn't really working right. The UI was kind of unclear, and it wasn't really that fun. So later, I actually remember that being one of the few things Luke kind of like fought to keep in, because he was always the guy who was like, yeah, just take it out, you know. But we ended up removing that.
Yeah. I think at that point we just didn't have the time, the resources to develop it the way we wanted.
Yeah.
I just have to acknowledge that.
Yeah, it'd been cool. In retrospect, it could have been cool and added some flavor to the stuff. Right, doing some work. So I think there's another purple chest somewhere in here.
But I mean, I guess that's something to point out in general as the game goes on later, we make use of the same things more and more.
Right.
And the more complex things we never bring back, like water gunner.
Well, I think that water garden thing is like really, I mean, I guess it could have been themed for this. Could have been like rooms full of lava or something that you drained. I guess we could have done something with that again. That seems so specific to that particular level, I think.
Right. It's the classic water level trope.
Right.
Raise and lower the levels.
I would say, I think the kind of things that this one has that's new is all the cliff hopping, which up to this point you didn't really like involve. It was like a dungeon mechanic, I think. I don't know. Of all the dungeons, this probably might be my least favorite for whatever reason. I don't dislike it, but I think in my mind, I really like the water garden.
Yeah. This one is just a bit of a grind, man.
Yeah.
I feel like Passageway kind of is, but this one, since you're falling down holes and revisiting the same area a lot, and even that same area, you're like, every time you revisit it, you're like, oh, I kind of missed this spot.
Right.
Don't even know. And it's just like, by the time you get to the end, you're like, oh, that's it. Can't believe it took me this long.
Right. The music's pretty interesting because it's a 12/8 Afro-Cuban groove, and you know, I play those sorts of with bands or music that has that sort of groove all the time. And if I would ever like write a piece of music for a drummer, I would just put on their part 12/8 Afro-Cuban, like play a 12/8 Afro-Cuban part. They would just play it. But when I was like writing the music for this game, I had to actually like sequence a 12/8 Afro-Cuban drum part, and I remember thinking like, how the hell do I write a 12/8 Afro-Cuban part? So I had to go on like YouTube and look up a drummer who like was teaching like a how-to of how to play an Afro-Cuban. Like, now I'm gonna show you how to play the hi-hat part of an Afro-Cuban. And then he like played it, and he's like, now I'm gonna show you how to play the toms. Now I'm gonna show you how to play the snare drum. So I just like transcribed it and wrote an Afro-Cuban drum beat. It's pretty cool.
I do really like the music here.
Thank you. Yeah, I ended up doing
might
an
be one of
arrange-
my more favorite songs.
Okay.
I just realized that this whole time I've not been able to listen to the music because if I do, then I get like the reverb,
Right.
like a 3-second delay, and I hear myself and you talk, and it's impossible. But yeah, it's good, man. I love those like Afro drum beats in general. Is
Very earthy.
they're just so lively, earthy for sure. They've just got a good vibe.
Well,
that
that's the
makes
whole
you feel
trope, right?
connected to the rhythm of the earth, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, the origins of that music is, well, just in the name, Afro-Cuban. So like a lot
Right.
of the like slaves that were brought to America, like playing with like the Caribbean musicians
Yeah.
in New Orleans, if I remember correctly, and Cuba, of course, like immigrants coming up from Cuba and Puerto Rico, and sort of this weird melding of these two different continents' music.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what jazz is too, in a lot of ways. It's just black American music meets European instruments and African drums and harmonies from both. It's really interesting how the unique history of everything sort of formed these great musical styles, for better or worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, jazz is probably, if I honestly had to pick one form of music that encompasses all of my likes, it would probably be jazz, because almost everything I like somehow draws its roots from there.
Right. What time is it? Oh, we got 7. I can't remember how to. I know there's a purple chest somewhere. I don't remember where it is.
It's in the falling down area, and it's sort of in the bottom left, and you have to like walk around some perimeter and then into some walls or something. That's one of the ones I missed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back if I can. I might not be able to go back. Might have to get it later. But I believe it's the Tiki Darts for Talon.
Yeah. Oh no, you have to fall from the top.
Right. But I remember like you could clearly see it. I think this chest right here is the bruise. Sack this guy.
But yeah, point in case, this is just some random area that you missed while you were down here. Just revisit, and then there it is.
Yeah, I think another reason like this sort of like middle third of the game is like the bruiser nice. So when I go back to the guild, I'll put that on Ellen. There's a lot of like straight dungeoning in a row.
Yeah. True. Oh, I'm looking forward to that for the guide,
Yeah.
because like all of a sudden it accelerates.
Right.
Now I'm like 1/3, close to 1/2 way through, and I'm like, wow, I have so much more to do. But it's like I'm halfway done, and it feels like only 4 hours into the game.
Yeah. Yeah, after the passageway, I would say it really accelerates. Then you pretty much just got Magma Sanctum. That's the airship escape, but that's pretty short.
Right.
And then
The Earth Maze.
Earth Maze, which is sort of like another sort of mini dungeon in my. It doesn't feel like a full dungeon. It's more like a story dungeon, I think.
Yeah, it's just the minecart puzzles
Right.
that extend it.
Then you revisit Solemn. It's kind of cool.
Very.
All right. I'm fighting every single monster. Trying to get to level 50 by the end of the week so I can show off that.
Is it possible?
Get to level 50? With
Well,
every.
I mean, if you fight every monster, is that?
I might
what you
get
hit?
close. I think I'll get pretty close
You
because.
only need 43 or whatever for Starstorm, right? Or no Supernova.
Supernova, yeah. Alright, this is a fun one. I remember this one because I have it seared in my mind after not being able to... So I used to not be able to solve it when I was testing the balance. I just moved these flames in the map editor so I could continue the game because I didn't feel like solving it, but I know how to do it.
It was a hard one. I think this one might have been one I went to bed for and came back to.
Yeah.
Either that or I like messaged the chat. I feel dumb though because like every like hour and a half there's some puzzle that I got stuck on.
Yeah.
No. Part of it is playing 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Definitely doesn't help.
Sort of weird playing the game without using speed up tools because I'm so used to that. Oh, by the way, I didn't disable this. So here's our badass debug menu for anyone who wants to see it. It's kind of a mess in Steam, but these are like snapshots where I can like skip to places. That's... Oh shit, I just turned on beast mode. Whoops. So now I'm level 50.
Reset.
Yeah. But anyway, you can turn on beast mode.
Save it, right?
Yeah, I think I saved. I mean, I could just show off Supernova now, actually. Should I?
Nah, make them wait.
Why is the music not playing? There we go.
It is for me. I just put the track on loop in the background.
Funny.
I don't know. It helps get into the vibe, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus, I do like this song. Really do.
It's actually I did an arrangement of it from my big band record.
Yeah, it's on your CD.
Okay, just got a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna call it. Getting a little sleepy. These 3-hour sessions are tough. Alright. This is the first dungeon that really starts dishing out a lot of mega potions. Love the color of those flames. So we bring back these little wind things. Actually, I might go ahead and just save now and call it. Yeah, this was a fun stream. Thanks for being on it, Tim. Hopefully we can do it again tomorrow night, and then
Yeah, I'll be around.
hopefully get Josh or Ty on one of these two. It'd be fun to have more people because my voice gets like really sore when I have to talk a lot.
Yeah. Well, happy to assist.
Yeah, that's fun. Alright, folks. Well, thanks for checking it out. And here, I'll do all the little exclamation.
Stay tuned for how you can get a Wraithling plushie.
Yeah. So, if you're interested in Jazz of Adam, it's for sale. 50% off until Saturday morning. 1 year anniversary on Friday. Woohoo. And, yeah, thanks for checking it out. Thea Dorothy. I'm looking forward to more of your streams. Hope you enjoy playing through the game, and I appreciate you buying it and streaming it. Nice of you. Anyway,
Yeah, we appreciate it.
I'll see you guys later. Just gotta sign off. Hit the little button. All right. See you guys. Bye.
Adios.